Let's do it.
What is going on, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages? Welcome to this special presentation across the Jeff Meacham Network Multiverse of Madness, AEW Battle of the Belts 3. I, of course, am the Renegade JJ Williams, joined by our stellar commentary team here, the Simple Man Noah Foster, James Hebert. Gentlemen, we've got about 25 minutes to go. Noah, I know you're super excited for this. You know, this is going to be a different one for a presentation here across the multiverse because Jeff is only running the booth tonight. He is not going to be on camera on stream for any of this.
Oh.
This was essentially my brainchild to do this. You know, I had seen the advertisement, I think it was during Dynamite, and I was like, we're supposed to have open mic night, but Battle of the Belts is going to be on. Like, this could cause a problem for the show. Of course, here I was thinking, you know, it was going to be a little bit later, not 5 o'clock Pacific, 8 Eastern, because I'm so formulated to Pacific time, I'm thinking, oh, this is going to be on at 8 o'clock. Open mic night's going to be on 8 o'clock. So Eastern time. But, it is what it is. I'm excited for this card, though. Even though we've only got 3 matches, I think these are going to be really solid matches. Noah, we've got Claudio Castagnoli defending the championship against, I'm not even going to try to pronounce the first name, Takeshita. I have worked so hard on getting the last name proper. Like, I'm not even going to try and butcher the first name. Just give me credit for having the last name.
I do. Well done, brother. Absolutely.
I know very little about Takeshita. Like, I've only seen him in action once or twice. Obviously, I am an old pro at Claudio Castagnoli, going all the way back to his appearances in Pro Wrestling Guerrilla out here, of course, Ring of Honor, CZW, obviously his WWE run as Antonio Cesaro. This definitely has match of the night written all over it. What are you thinking, Noah?
I mean, JR pretty much summed it up perfectly last night. Classic coming, instant classic. You got the strong style and spirit of Kenoshi Takeshita that's just a little bit under 10 years in the game versus the tested veteran that now holds himself to even stronger standard, bearing the fact that right now he represents being the strongest and the best professional wrestler holding the Ring of Honor World Championship, a title that has a 20-plus year legacy in its own right. So this is going to be something special that's going to test both these men to the limit, to say the least. I cannot wait for this. What it's going to come down to is the explosive nature of Konosuke's offense versus Claudio's awareness and typical capability. If he can ground Konosuke, that plays into his favor. We're going to find out who's the hardest striker here, but it's going to take more than that. It's going to take technique to come out as the Ring of Honor World Champion.
Yeah, I definitely don't want to undersell Takeshita. Like, I don't want to take him too lightly, but you've almost got to figure like Claudio is going to retain this. He just got his hands on that ROH title. It's way too soon for him to lose it, even to somebody of the caliber of Takeshita. Would you agree, James?
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, this was a match billed because people wanted to see the match, but we know the outcome. I mean, Claudio shouldn't be losing the title anytime soon. So soon after winning it,
His first Ring of Honor Heavyweight Championship.
Yeah, speaking of losing it too soon, the only match on the card where I really feel like a title is in jeopardy of being transferred, and again, no slight to her, is Thunder Rosa versus Jamie Hayter. Just something about the way Rosa's push has been with the title that I feel like if any belt is going to change hands on the show, this is the one where the odds are in favor of it changing. Personal opinion. What do you think, James?
What, Thunder Rosa versus Jamie Hayter?
Yeah.
I'm a hater.
It's no way. While I do expect this to be a hard-hitting match and it will be good, there's no way you're taking the belt off Thunder Rosa either. When the whole idea is probably having the title change at AEW All Out, if they even do the title change, then they might wait until a full year. I mean, when you consider the fact that she won the title at St. Patrick's Day Slam, which wasn't really that long ago, she's only had the belt
going on 5 months.
Yeah, I mean,
it's a pretty good run.
It's a pretty good run, but I would say tonight ain't the night. I'd be shocked if there is actually a title change here.
Fair. Noah, do you agree?
Well, the beauty, James, as you know, as we are fans of professional wrestling, is the suspension of disbelief in the storytelling and in the level of competition we're going to see. With the fact that Jamie Hayter and Thunder Rosa, they've only met each other one at a time in singles action under the TBS title tournament, and Thunder Rosa got the better of her. Both of these women, of course, they are definitely tested. They are champions in their own rights across multiple promotions. You figure about Jamie Hayter, who was a champion in Rev Pro in Stardom. You think about Thunder Rosa, who's a former NWA Women's World Champion and now the current AEW Women's World Champion. A championship is only as strong as the champion that is tested and the competition that goes after it. And we still always have that subtle criticism of the women's division. Now with a
Yeah.
head coach and a former Impact World Champion in Madison Rain, I do see brighter things ahead for this division. Case in point, what we saw this Wednesday night on Dynamite, and a banger of a great tag team match in the first hour, might I add, of AEW Dynamite. If they could pull more showcasing off like that to show me how hungry and how driven and how high level of competition this women's division has, then I do believe that there is that special disbelief that the title could change hands at some point. That being said, for me, this is a testament to Jamie Hayter and to what she can bring. She's been one of those that has not been fully, properly, strongly showcased to a degree in singles action. This is her first championship match, by the way, too, since she's been a part of AEW. We're going to see a lot come out of Jamie, but we're also going to see how far Thunder Rosa gets pushed tonight, and that's truly going to test the merit of La Mera Mera.
There you go. And then the other championship match, of course, we've got Jay Lethal challenging Wardlow for the TNT title. Yeah, I kind of go back and forth on this one because on the one hand, I'm like, Wardlow's a beast.
Yes.
You don't want to take the strap off him. Again, he just barely got the belt. He's got so much potential. He's got such an ascension in front of him to take that belt to new heights, make it truly like the Intercontinental Championship, a
Yes.
workhorse title. The other hand, you've got Jay Lethal, who just a week ago came off the losing end of that Ric Flair show.
Yeah.
And do you really want him to get another major loss so quick? I feel like there's almost got to be some kind of shenanigans here, whether Sanjay Dutt or Saddam Singh get involved to maybe help Lethal lose, but not as weak going out, so he still stays strong going down the road. What do you think, Noah?
I think it's one of those things where you look at the hunger and still the very young start in this man's career, Wardlow being tested by one of the great veterans of the game, the franchise Ring of Honor that's held every title under the Ring of Honor banner. For me, this is going to be a proving ground match to Wardlow and his merit as the TNT champion, but also what he wants to bring forward as the identity of the TNT championship, testing the strongest no matter what brand to really raise the value of this title. Has been, let's be honest, James, bottleneck for the longest time. And to be fair, in the history of Battle of the Belts, we are no stranger to the TNT title changing hands. So I definitely would not rule Jay Lethal out here, but I got to look at this. Who wants it more? There's the merit of the champion, and then there's the hunger of the challenger. And with this being made on the spot on AEW Dynamite, it's one of those things that I could see happening out of nowhere, considering TNT title matches only have, I do believe, still a 20-minute time limit. Honestly, this could be just a test, and it could go to a draw. But if one time was to change hands tonight, this probably would be the one I would think of when you consider, again, you do think about the outside influences of Satnam Singh and Sanjay Dutt when Wardlow rules things by himself. We're going to see who leaves Wardlow's world tonight as TNT champion, but I would not count out the challenger.
Fair enough. What do you think, James?
For me, personally, I think that Jay Lethal is not getting the belt because this is more of a setup for a TNT title match between Wardlow and Satnam Singh. Keep in mind, when you have a babyface hold the belt, there's always that open challenge situation.
Correct.
And Wardlow's made it very clear that it don't matter who it is, you want the title step up, right? This is kind of an open challenge type deal. So I think what's going to happen is he's going to find a way to win and overcome the odds, but then he's going to get beat down after the fact, and it's going to set up him versus Satnam Singh, which I personally am looking forward to only in that I want to see what Satnam Singh does against an actual talent as opposed to just jobbers on Dark every week.
Right.
Because I like what this guy can bring. He's not like he looks like, Giant Gonzalez, but he don't move around like him. He's very mobile. He knows what he's doing in the ring. He's very good at being a big man wrestler. I'd like to see, Wardlow in this case be the David going up against an even bigger Goliath. I think that would be very interesting to see personally. So
Glad.
definitely would be an interesting dichotomy when you figure the size and build of Wardlow, and he's probably so used to being the giant in the situation to have someone that towers over him would definitely be quite the juxtaposition.
Yeah, and it's one of those things where I think about Battle of the Giants, looking at matches I've seen recently on G1 Climax 32, where I saw Jeff Cobb and Jonah. Good lord. I feel like you could get some similar dynamic here with these two. And as you alluded to, James, Satnam Singh is untested as a singles athlete on the grandest stage. But would you put him in an open challenge scenario for the TNT Championship as his first major match? Especially when he's completely unknown by the entire wrestling universe. Let's put it out there. I don't know, but I like that idea maybe some point down the line. But he definitely needs a big single showcase sooner rather than later.
I
Agreed.
think they'll build it. I think they'll build it before then, before he actually gets the title match. But
Right.
Well,
I
I
still
mean, there's
think that's
about
the
4
direction.
weeks until All Out, so they've got
That's what I'm
a
saying.
good solid month to build it.
The thing
Yeah.
about All Out, though, you kind of look at All Out, and for the first time since All Out's pay-per-view history, I kind of look at it almost as a blank slate. There are those ideas, but as far as the major championships go, and thinking about suspension of disbelief on who steps up or who comes back, it's almost like All Out right now. It's kind of a blank canvas. So I'm very curious how they handle, particularly the championships. And not just the championships we'll see tonight. As we know, there's the TBS Championship, which will be defended this Wednesday at AEW Dynamite against former TNA Knockouts champion Madison Rain.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that match. This is going to be a true test for Jade Cargill. She's going in there against the vet that is Madison Rain, and going to see if she'll make Madison Rain cut that shit.
Oh, how dare you! And
I
James,
have a question about that now. Does that mean Madison Rain is no longer teaming with Danielle Dashwood on Impact, or is that a deal they worked out with?
I
what's
would
the
say
status
since
on
she's
that?
signed as the head coach now of the women's division AEW, we're going to see her last match this Thursday night on Impact Wrestling against Mia Yim, the former Jade. I would say that the influence is done.
You never know, though. I mean, it's always
For now.
possible that she still has the ability to bounce back and forth. So,
Right. Hey, JD, what's up? And Daniel, I hope you had a great time as I'm looking at the chat here. So,
yeah, Daniel, by all means, feel free to give your thoughts when the show is on. Let us know, like, how hot the crowd was and
yes,
everything.
the
If there's
environment.
something that they really popped for, that way we can work that into the commentary.
Definitely. Again, it's all
Hassan,
about that
hello.
engagement, that connection to the wrestling fans. Hey, Hassan. Hello, everybody who's watching the chat, or whoever you may be on these platforms. Like, subscribe, comment, and tell a friend. As the first half of this Jeff Beecham Network production will be starting very shortly. So, talk about championships. Let's talk a little bit about the AEW World Championship and how Jon Moxley, again, as JR said, prior to his own worst enemy, he tested himself ahead of facing apparently Lionheart Chris Jericho against Vance Warner. Vance Warner brought a lot of that type of offense I expected out of Jon Moxley, and I felt really tested him to a degree. I just wondered if the physical toll was worth it. It's one of those things where as a champion, you always test yourself, but also there's that point of perseverance. Like, when is, discretion the better part of valor? And now with apparently getting Lionheart, the last graduate of Stu Hart, the Hart Dungeon, and Jon Moxley's definitely going to have a damaged wing that Jericho trying to exploit and stretch. I'm very curious how Jon Moxley heads into this match this coming Wednesday on Dynamite.
See, I've been thinking about this going the last few weeks and how it's all been building to this thing with Jericho. And I'm not saying that Tony Khan or his booking committee will go this way, but I want to present a scenario to you two gentlemen
Please,
off of a thing that I like to call long-term storytelling.
considering how long it's been since the second encounter of these two, I'm very curious about your input.
I've been trying to do my research, and correct me if I'm wrong, but did Jon Moxley not defeat Jericho for his first AEW title run?
You would be correct at AEW Revolution back in 2001.
So with Moxley already going into this with damaged goods and with Jericho being the Lionheart for this match, I could definitely see a title change happening here, or I'm at least proposing a title change. Again,
Right.
don't know if Tony Khan's going to want to go this way, but hear me out here. So Jericho takes the title off Moxley, gets his revenge for Moxley having defeated him for the championship.
Right.
Okay. It's only the interim championship, whatever, at the end of the day. After the match, CM Punk comes out to
Oh, here we
begin his build towards All Out. Keep in mind, it was Unforgiven 2008 when Randy Orton attacked CM Punk backstage. Jericho took the spot in the championship scramble and won what was CM Punk's World Heavyweight Championship.
Right.
So there's some history there. So now we're going to All Out Punk Jericho. Obviously, interim championship is probably going to get unified with the world title. Punk's going to, retain, begin this run that he should have had prior to his injury. But either way the match goes at All Out, here comes MJF, who has feuded with both of them.
Yeah.
High-profile feuds to be the contender to whoever is the champion come the end of All Out.
Yeah,
Right.
I agree. I honestly, this is one of those things where it's like you should give it to Jericho, only in that it's a lot more of WWE versus WWE, which is the whole stance of MJF anyway from that pipe bomb he cut back in the Kia Forum. So if we're gonna do this MJF deal, this is the way you got to do it instead of just just instead of doing it with Moxley, because yeah, he had also high profile feud with Moxley, but I don't know. I feel like Jericho and Punk makes sense more. So.
Don't get me wrong, I like Moxley, and I'm happy to see him even as interim champion, considering the demons that he conquered late last year, early this year.
Right.
But I feel like there's more money and more long-term history between Punk and Jericho than there is between Punk and Moxley to really make the fans want to get their teeth into this.
Well, you consider that CM Punk, of course, was Ring of Honor. John Moxley, of course, was Dean Ambrose involved for the WWE system. And really, they didn't have like a real one-on-one. They had the fallout with the Shield, of course. And then I figure about CM Punk, Chris Jericho, as you alluded to, and to put another step into play, at one point, CM Punk faced Chris Jericho in what was a highly underrated and undersold match at a WrestleMania. And I would love to see AEW try and capitalize on that lost potential, what could have been an absolute incredible match that was fighting The Rock and John Cena. So there is, again, some suspension of disbelief, and truly is, who is the best? Is it the one that is the best at what he can do, or is it the best in the world? I do like that tagline being picked up at some point and being rerun by AEW. That's true long-term storytelling, like you said, that bridges history among multiple companies, especially with the way that both these men constantly have mega chips on their shoulders. So I do like that a lot. And then you bring the MJF factor into play, which right now is completely MIA. Whether or not they run that before the anniversary of AEW Dynamite in October is another thing to think about too. But I definitely would not rule out MJF at some point being the next AEW World Champion. I think that's still something to come.
There we go.
So,
well, it looks like we're about 5 minutes left from the broadcast.
Oh
my.
James, I got corrected
because James called it the Kia Forum instead of the Great Western Forum or the Fabulous Forum.
I don't know the name before.
It's all good, dude. Jeff is just you gotta figure he was almost born at the Forum, so you gotta put some stank on that name.
And as people out at the East Coast, we just know buildings literally by their names, unless we've literally been in them for some sort of historic event. Also, thank you, Jeff Lucky. But I digress. I can't wait to go back to Cleveland and the Wolfstein Center. Round 3, AEW Dynamite. What awaits me there ahead of AEW All Out?
Yeah, I agree. This is going to be...
Welcome,
hello,
nice to see you. Why no Bourbon Street coverage this weekend, man? We were hoping to have some TV footage, get Get the party jumping down there
Yeah,
on Bourbon
man.
Street.
It must be
We
taking it
love
easy.
when
I
you
don't.
do
I don't.
that.
I don't think it parties every weekend down there in New Orleans, guys. I mean, even they need to
Hey,
rest
you know
sometimes.
what? My girlfriend pointed out to me either last night or earlier today, Bourbon Street is just like the Las Vegas Strip. There is always people on it. It's just a matter of how jumping that party is.
Fair enough. I will not discredit that.
Or to take a quote from the Boondock Saints, a movie I love so much. It's kind of like 7-Eleven. Not always doing business, but we're always open.
I like that. I like that a lot. Well, you can say the same thing about professional wrestling. If this last week told us anything, good Lord Almighty, what a week it's been. As we are
Yeah.
just mere minutes away from the third Battle of the Belts, and we know the fourth Battle of the Belts will be. Oh Lord, October is going to be a freaking mess. The fourth Battle of the Belts will also be coming up in October, I believe, in Albany, New York.
Okay.
So that's going to be interesting, considering what else is happening during that time in that city. Seriously, Impact Wrestling.
It's an interesting month. You know, you figure there's no pay-per-view, no PLE for August because WWE, for whatever reason, moved SummerSlam till the end of July. But
Right.
we've got Battle of the Belts, we've got Heatwave on NXT, and we've got Emergence on Impact Plus. 3 specials carried amongst the 3 main brands, but no pay-per-view.
Yeah, the only
Very,
pay-per-view
very
is
interesting.
the only pay-per-view is NWA 74 at the end of August. What famous championship in wrestling history made its debut at a 1980s Battle of the Belts? That's before my time. Whoa.
Famous championship.
Famous?
That's the key here.
That is a famous. What's famous? Besides Pillow Mud, that song I used to remember from my Metaverse Rock game.
And an NWA belt.
Well, I mean, considering the history of that.
That's not a bad guess. I must say
That would've been my only
the
guess.
NWA United States title.
I don't think it was the World Championship, clearly, because that has way too much history behind it.
Yeah, we know it wasn't the Intercontinental title because that took place in a tournament in Rio de Janeiro. But
oh boy,
that's the only other thing I can think of as far as being a famous championship is the United States title.
I know it wasn't IWGP. Hey, Stat Boy.
Hello, my internet fans.
What's up?
Starting off with a question here, huh?
Yes.
Which famous championship in wrestling history made its debut at a 1980s Battle of the Belts? I'll throw out a guess.
We're waiting.
I'm going to say the Winged Eagle.
No, that was way after.
That had to be in the 90s.
It's a Battle of the Belts, so I wouldn't. WWF couldn't have been in that, right?
No, I don't think WWF has any history of a Battle of the Belts type scenario, as far as I can remember. But speaking of which,
Unless it
we
was
are
still
live.
Like,
Pyro is going off, gentlemen.
Well, it's not going on for me yet. So
the big goal!
I technically was correct then. I called it.
Well, with that being said, let's go down to the Dapper Yapper. Justin Roberts as he introduces our first contest, because it's Saturday night. You know what that means. Battle of the Belts is live on TNT, even though it's pre-recorded. But I'm spoiler-free. I'm Noah Foster with the Stat Boy, with the Renegade, and James Hubert, and we are kicking things off with the TNT Championship.
Oh, yeah.
Dig it.
I almost said the big gold belt, too.
Well, Justin Roberts is just talking now. Championship is what he's saying next.
Yep.
Okay, so maybe Noah and I are pretty synced. I have no idea. Ooh, nice graphic. Have they ever done graphics?
No, that is the first time they've done a graphic.
They need to do more of those graphics.
Well, again, it just goes to show, again, what people are tuning into. As, of course, this is for all free satellite, cable, streaming network providers on TV, on TNT. It's going to be a fun hour of pro wrestling as we got Jay Lebo from New Jersey challenging for the TNT Championship against Warlord. Satnam Singh and Sanjay Dutt are accompanying him to the ring. And here comes Warlow with the Warlow chant.
Yeah, Wardlow hasn't come up on my thing.
Oh, you're fine, bro. We'll forget about probably picture in picture. This is TV. There's going to be some discrepancies. Wardlow is all game, man. All game.
Who's commentating this? Is it just you and JJ?
No, you guys can do it.
Okay, yeah. No, we have to sync up. That's why I'm bringing it up.
You're fine. TNT Champion's on the entranceway. Again.
He just got to the entranceway for me. I'm behind you.
Oh, you're fine. He's literally on the entranceway and the pyro's going off if that helps you.
Yeah, Noah, I'm behind you.
I paused, you goober.
Oh, okay. Well, it just happened. There we go, pyro. There we
All
go.
right, good.
He's walking.
There. All right, good.
He's walking.
Get your stuff together.
Wardlow
occurs accomplished in 33 of his last matches. Of course, claiming the TNT Championship from Scorpio Sky in Rochester, New York. That city now has claimed 2 TNT champions and crowned 2 as well. But in Grand Rapids, Michigan, can Jay Lethal get his first championship in AEW? He's been a champion everywhere else he's been.
I don't know, but from what I hear, he's helping that female demographic.
Yes, I'm sure that's a thing.
I wonder why.
Oh, brother.
Talk to Paige. Anyways.
Wait, did Paige actually say something about Wardlow?
No. I'm just joking.
Bell ringing. Bell ringing.
All right, gentlemen. Me and Mikey will be back as soon as this match is over.
All right. Jay Lethal already going to the outside of the ring, controlling the pace. Jay Lethal, 37 years old, 21 years in the game. Wardlow, only 8 years in the game. Trained by Josh Emanuel at 34 years of age. So the experience definitely falls in favor of Jay Lethal.
Yeah, Jay Lethal, absolutely a true tested veteran. We saw that when he fought Orange Cassidy on Wednesday, and here we go, an attack, a blindside attack.
Well, again, they also are talking about how Jay Lethal found a weakness and exploited Orange Cassidy, and right now Orange Cassidy's status is unknown. Oh, what a suplex. And Wardlow back up on his feet.
Yeah, that you're going to need to do a lot more than that to take out Wardlow.
Again, Jay Lethal is going to have to rely on his technical game. Oh, my, up in the line.
Yeah, that's definitely what we call a back body drop.
And that's a clubbing clothesline, sending Lethal over the top rope to the floor.
Just the raw power of this man.
Wardlow definitely bringing the intensity of this match as Sanjay Dutt is checking on his boy. Sanjay might want to be careful. More than that pencil might be broken tonight.
Yeah, you ain't kidding.
This match not brought to you by Office Max. Oh, boy.
And here's the match a lot of people are interested in seeing right here. Satnam Singh, Wardlow staring each other down.
Oh!
Ooh, basement dropkick.
But look at Wardlow. He's still on his feet. Lethal trying to fall up and take advantage. The thing about this, though, we know that Lethal, he's not afraid to go the striking route. Speaking of strikers, we will see Jamie Hayter versus Thunder Rosa later on tonight on Battle of the Belts for the AEW Women's World Championship, as well as Claudio Castagnoli defends the Real Barbara Championship against Konosuke Takeshita. Ooh, ducks the boot.
Oh! Nice enziguri by Jay Lethal. This is where the veteran instinct comes in. Jay Lethal now perhaps trying to go for something here. Oh, wait a minute. Get caught with a tilt-a-whirl power slam.
One on the cover, one.
Pine.
Oh.
Kick out at 1, or kick out at an early 2.
But it shows how tough Jay Lethal is as well. And you consider Jay Lethal what he's recently been through. He went through a Ring of Honor television match against Samoa Joe for Dishonor, losing effort. He went through a hot opener against Orange Cassidy, beat the man by breaking him down at the legs. For Jay Lethal to get the TNT Championship tonight, he's going to have to take Wardlow's base out, I think, if he's going to have any chance.
Oh, wait a minute. Jay Lethal now clutching at his knee after that drop kick.
Oh, well,
he may have actually done some damage to himself after trying to drop kick.
Wait a minute!
Oh, wait a minute! Oh, the whole time it was playing possum, but only gets a 2 count off that roll-up.
Well, I mean, he was training. Oh, the dirtiest player in the game. Might have took a few tricks up his own sleeve. Again, that is his mentor. It's Wardlow driven shoulder first into the ring post. Jay Lethal looking to follow up, picking up speed with the top race suicide, and finally takes Wardlow down.
And there he is doing the Ric Flair strut here. The crowd not appreciating it one bit.
Crowd, Grand Rapids, Michigan, very vocal right now during this match. Take a look at the replay here. He got some good distance on that tope. And right now, what is Lethal doing? Looking to further exploit Wardlow's legs. Taking him around the ring post.
Gonna try to use that post for leverage, damaging the knee of Wardlow. That's what you gotta do. You gotta chop the legs of this. You gotta chop the tree trunk like legs of Wardlow down.
Well, also, James, as you know, it also sums him up for the figure 4 leg lock that Jay Lethal loves to employ as we go to our first restaurant quality picture-in-picture, and there's the high five from Sanjay Dutt. So Jay Lethal is already, again, focusing on that technical game that brought him to the dance in the first place. Remember, the first title he won in Ring of Honor was the Pure Championship.
Yeah, he has won every single championship under the Ring of Honor umbrella for a reason under every iteration of the management. Jay Lethal knows how to adapt on the fly, and he's showing that here.
Use the hashtag AEW BOTB3 to talk about tonight's festivities. And please share this link to this Fun Love Reactions watch along. And stay tuned for the second half of this Jeff Missionary production, where we will definitely be having an open mic night regarding a lot of things that have happened this week alone in all things wrestling. Speaking of which, looks like Jay Lethal now grounding the big man, working the ankle, the Achilles. Wardlow, again, though, it's one of those things like Shayna Baszler says. Leg moves are a scramble. If you leave the upper body exposed, your opponent will exploit it. Wardlow with some clever shots to the back, just trying to grab some space. As Daniel giving us some live takeaways from his experience. For the first match, Battle Bells 3 for TNT Championship, the crowd was really cheering for Wardlow and a lot of woos. Well, again, as long as I've lived and breathed and watched professional wrestling, damn it, you can't go one event without hearing a woo before or during the show as we're back.
And here we go. He's trying to go for that figure 4. Did you see how he was using a backbreaker variation over the knee to try to hyperextend the ligaments of the knee?
Ooh,
and now look at that into a jackknife cover.
That was a nice transition.
And here we go, trying to go for the figure 4 again. Gets kicked off. Another jackknife cover.
But
Wardlow immediately rolls through. Powerbomb, Symphony coming.
Wait, Lethal fighting back, James. Oh, and once again goes back to that leg.
Very smart strategy by Jay. Keep the target on that leg, but now it looks like he's trying to deviate from that plan, trying to go for a lethal injection.
Got caught.
Oh boy.
Well.
Oh, wait a minute. He's trying to escape. He's doing anything he can to escape. He's actually doing a good job, but.
Well, again, he's aware of the danger. If he's caught in that Powerbomb Symphony, it is going to be a catastrophe. Oh, what a headbutt.
You want to talk about a catastrophe? I don't think Jay Lethal has a brain anymore. That headbutt was lethal.
And a rewind of a lariat. Unleashed all of that, turning Lethal inside out and upside down.
We always talk about how the Rainmaker has a hell of a clothesline, but I think Wardlow just showed he's no slouch here tonight.
I need to see Rainmaker versus Buckshot Lariat versus that Rewind Lariat in a triple threat match, please and thank you. Just saying, Forbidden Door 2.
And here we go.
With Brave picking Jay full up. Oh God! Planted! 1, 2, this is over! Oh,
and here comes Sanjay. Sanjay not happy, and he's now assaulting Wardlow. And here comes Satnam Singh.
Oh, you might get your wish early here, James.
Yeah, Satnam Singh. Here we go. He's just stomping right on the chest of Wardlow, trying to cave it in with his boot here.
That's a big boot. And Wardlow's got no help. Unable. Wait a minute. Look at Wardlow. Look at Wardlow.
Oh, my God.
Oh, and Lethal coming in the back door.
This ain't good. This ain't good. Jay Lethal could seriously do some damage here. Somebody get somebody out here.
Oh,
he's got the figure 4 applied now. This is uncalled for.
This is a message that Jay Lethal will not be embarrassed. But when the match was over, some of the crowd was chanting, "We want Daniels," and Fallen Angel. Well,
That
you
don't
mean I'll take
surprise
either
me.
American Dragon, Fallen Angel. I mean, both with history of Ring of Honor. But for now, Jay Lethal, Sanjay Dutt, and Satnam Singh, they don't leave with the prize,
Oh
but they
God,
might leave with the last laugh.
this
Oh,
ain't
Wardlow's
good.
still fighting back.
This is not good at all. Look at Wardlow. He's trying to fight here, and here comes the Goozle. He's about to go for a choke slam here. Wardlow powers out and a kick right to the grapefruits of this Indian giant.
And it is good for 30 yards. There is no way. There is no way.
No way. Are you kidding me?
Ah! Assisted back body drop thanks to Lethal. Satnam Singh avoids the Powerbomb Symphony. But again, look at what it took. And oh, they're not done yet.
Jesus, no. Oh, no. They're going to set up a table here. Where are the best friends? Where is security? Anybody? Try to save Wardlow here before it's too late.
I think the best friends are still with Dr. Danhausen, but that's a whole different story. And this might have been the plan the entire time.
And now it looks like
match,
he's going to go for a Uranagi slam. Yes! Right through the damn table.
Well, that's about as powerful as a chokeslam I've seen.
Yep.
Look at this. Look at this image. Lethal might have the championship on his shoulder, but he still is not the victor. But Wardlow laid out.
If anybody should be challenging Wardlow, it's probably Satnam. He did most of the work here.
And he barely broke a sweat. 7 feet 4, friggin' plunge from the top of the world.
This is unbelievable. What a scene here. And now look at this. Jay Lethal and Sanjay hugging like they just won the freaking Super Bowl.
Yeah, that'll be a day. It's not Lethal's title, but Lethal gets the statement. We're doing well, Matt, as we're waiting for AEW to restore some law and order. But up next will be the Women's Championship as Thunder Rosa defends the gold against Jamie Hayter. Whew.
There we go.
Well, I think you're onto something, James. I think Satnam Singh vs. Wardlow was definitely teased there.
Yep.
That go.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely looks like that's where they're going to go with this, whether it's going to be at, Rage by the Lake or some other special show that they've got coming up, or if they save it for All Out.
That's one of my on every channel.
That's one of my only beefs with AEW is they've had like 5 weeks of special shows now. 2 weeks of Fyter Fest, Fight for the Fallen. Now they've got this, and then it's Rage by the Lake. It's like, holy hell.
Yeah, well.
But Quake by the Lake.
Quake by the Lake, Cake by the Lake, whatever.
I think they only made the Quake by the Lake tagline only in the only for the crowd, just to title it for the crowd, but still, yeah. It's a lot of specials. Cake by the Ocean, yes.
I know that
it's
song.
Like 5 weeks worth of special shows, though. It's like, Jesus, those could be in your house pay-per-views, getting them some more revenue or something. Seriously.
Well, honestly, I don't think if they were to put that on pay-per-view, AEW would not be nearly getting as much for the Big Four. So,
well, you also don't want to take away from the Big Four as well. That is their pay-per-view structure, and of course.
Or I'm sorry, the Big Five now because of Forbidden Door, but still.
Okay, hold on. First off, we don't know if that's going to be an annual thing. We hope that's going to be an annual thing, bringing in more companies. Secondly, it's one of those things where I look at, okay, you have the pay-per-view. That's your big draws. That has to be where all the stories come together. They basically conclude or they reach an epilogue of dramatic proportions. As far as these special shows, yeah, it has been a bit crazy, but I think about Fyter Fest, Fight for the Fallen. They always do those now back to back. That's the standard. This Quake by the Lake, that's a new one. Now, I would imagine the next special after this, besides Battle of the Belts, you can call that their own thing, will probably be their anniversary show in October. I just feel like for the summer, they kind of just crammed it all together.
Jeff, what are you talking about?
Can we get Mikey eye to eye instead of the 80s Andre shot?
I guess because of the way you look.
Sorry.
The camera. Screen down a smidge. The producer. He's not in Mikey's head, so he's got to be in the comments.
A lot of people are in my head. Okay, how about that?
That's not good. You should seek medical help.
I've tried.
You're not hearing
Few
voices,
times.
are you? They talk to you?
They
I hear
talk to
voices
me.
all the time.
Wait, no, this is the Orton pose. You just did the Hogan pose like this. What the hell? What's the
He did
hell's
the
that?
Riddle. He did the
What?
Riddle Orton pose.
I hear voices in my head, dude.
To be fair, Randy Orton and Hulk Hogan did have a fallout on Saturday night's main event in the back parking lot. So, I mean, there is some solo history there.
Yeah, that's another one on that Legend Killer run that there's no reason that Hogan should have beaten Randy Orton. He so should have jobbed to Orton
my
in that
gosh.
SummerSlam match, but I digress.
Oh,
I
what are you
And
repeat
we've
talking
it.
lost
about,
all
brother?
control.
I always got to go over. I always do.
Hey, if this wasn't a battle of networks, for all we know, NBC and TNT would be working together.
Battle of the Network
They'll
Stars.
work
What?
together eventually.
I love
Trust
that
me,
show.
They're gonna work together at some point.
Yeah, I feel you're right. Meanwhile, we're back, and we're
Which is
looking
good.
back at what just happened moments ago. As
Hey,
Daniel
Moji.
gives us a bit of a prelude towards the match ahead. The crowd was
Yeah.
50-50 for the AEW Women's Championship match. Some of the crowd was for the champ, and some were for Hater. Some of the crowd where I was sitting were chanting for Tony Storm. I'm not surprised with that at all. I would like to see that as a triple threat.
You know what? I'm not mad at them chanting for Tony
Oh!
Storm. But speaking of Tony Storm, real quick, as we get ready for this match, what did everybody think about Scarlett and Karrion Kross on SmackDown? Like, holy
was awesome.
hell!
Yeah, yes.
I know we'll get
he
more in
Karrion?
depth
Is he
with that on
Karrion or
open
Killer
mic
Kross
night,
now?
but
Carrion.
Is he carrying? Good.
yeah, he's
Okay.
still
He's
carrying.
I just didn't know if he was one or the other.
Considering the WWE is the home of a man who killed his family, I don't think they want to have a guy named Killer Cross. Just
Well, you
throwing
want to
that
talk
out
about
there.
killers?
probably.
This woman's a killer in her
Not
own
a good
right.
look, Granddad.
The challenger coming out first in her first AEW Women's Championship match. Jamie Hayter, who's got 8 wins in her past 11 singles matches, and it looks like she will be accompanied by Rebel, not Reba, and Dr. Britt Baker, DMD.
It's interesting. I was about to just give her credit for coming out solo without Britt, but then here they came. It was like, well, there goes
Yeah,
that.
I knew that. I knew what was.
Well,
We know
I mean,
the deal.
Again, they
We know
are
the
a
deal,
trio.
but for someone like her to really try to make a statement for herself, coming out solo would have gone leaps and bounds to make that statement. Win, lose, draw, whatever.
Well, the thing about this, JJ, is right now they're together. Who's to say that that's not going to change, even maybe based off this match? And speaking of which, here comes the champion, who has 5 AEW World Title defenses successfully so far in a 143-day reign, La Mera Thunder Rosa, with Tony Storm.
Oh wait, everyone. But she might sandbag people. We can't cheer for Thunder. Yeah, go. Yeah, that's what I have to say to that. By the way,
That T-shirt she was wearing the other
That was
night
great.
was hilarious, though. I was
yeah,
cracking
I
up at
think
that.
there's legit heat. By the way, between Britt and Thunder. I'm not even gonna stunt with you because I saw that match. Those shots look like they hit hard, big time hard. Like they looked like they caught a little bit flush.
Yeah, no kidding. Meanwhile, Jamie Hayter with the hot start with the back shot,
Well,
and Aubrey rings the bell. We are
speaking of
underway
flush,
quickly.
Here we
Never
go.
turn your
Yep,
back.
just rain down the elbows. Why the hell not? Yep.
I mean, never turn your back on your opponent, right? What do you expect in a championship affair? Jamie Hayter is not going to take this for granted.
Remember, this match came about because Jamie Hayter actually got the win for her team, so she automatically got the shot for the AEW Women's World Title here tonight.
Well, also think about this, James. It was one miscommunication between the Thunderstorm that was the difference in that match for Dr. Baker, DMD, and Jamie Hayter to pick up the victory. And Jamie Hayter pinned Tony Storm, not the champion.
Yeah, that's a fair point. But
Jamie
right now,
Hayter,
we got
27 years old, 7 years of experience. She's a former 2-time Red Pro Women's champion.
Jesus.
Wow, suplex.
Yeah, you want to talk about a freaking dynamite-like suplex. That absolutely was picture perfect.
I would say that Jamie Hayter is probably the meanest and hardest hitter in the entire AEW Women's division, next to Chris
Jesus.
Statlander.
Yeah, she breaks the teeth, and then Dr. Britt Baker fixes him.
And then Jamie Hayter with the chiropractor to the back.
Yeah.
Jamie Hayter right now
You
playing
think that's
to the
going to be the
crowd.
next person? You think that's going to be the next person in Dr. Britt Baker's stable, the chiropractor?
Who's to say? It all depends who Tony Khan signs. Oh!
Jeez.
And Thunder Rosa falling up. Oh, man! Being shot by Jamie Hayter. We got a bit of a hot and furious exchange here in the corner. Again, got a 5 count. Almost looking for a chokehold. Saves of Taiji.
Yeah, double goozle, if you will.
Irish whip off the ropes. Thunder Rosa. Taken down by Hayter. Nice shoulder tackle.
Very good shoulder tackle. And now Thunder Rosa trying to get back on her feet. We know how tough Thunder is. That's why she's the champion for a reason. There's a nice drop kick.
You also talk about the toughness, talk about her history. She has no former history in singles action with Jamie Hayter except for one other encounter, and it was in AEW. And Thunder Rosa has been putting in more of the work in the ring lately, wrestling around Warrior Wrestling and MLW, while Jamie Hayter, she's only had... Oh, man!
There's the knuckle duster.
She's only had 5 other singles matches this year in AEW.
Now Jamie Hayter talking trash to the looks like anybody that she can, including to referee Aubrey.
And no kidding. And right now, Jamie Hayter running from the Rosa around the driving her into the barricade.
Trying to go for a freaking 5K as she drives her head first right into the barricade. Tony Storm trying to check on Thunder here.
Tony Storm, of course, no stranger to Jamie Hayter. These two have shared their own bad blood in exchanges in singles matches.
Nice savant kick, though, by Thunder Rosa trying to fight back here. Knife edge chops now. A battle on the outside has commenced.
Got her hook.
Trying to go for that snap again. Trying to go for the snap suplex.
Good job on your base. Ow!
Ooh!
Nice counter, the DDT on the floor. And for the first time in this match, Lamara Mera actually has some control over her opponent. Bringing her back into the ring. That's the only way, of course, you can win. Goes for the cover. Aubrey counts 2, and Jamie gets the shoulder up.
I'm not sure if that was a 2. I think she was trying to check for the shoulders, but...
Well, either way, this match continues. What's also interesting about this, despite the experience level when it comes to the number of matches, what the world is Britt doing? Holding the title in hand. Oh,
jeez. Double palm strike. Sends her right out to the outside here.
I mean, Britt's like, hey, you shouldn't be distracted. I'm not the champion. I'm not the challenger. What is this? Jamie's got Thunder hook. Oh, man!
This rock bottom Uranagi slam on top of the steps.
Jamie Hayter might have just broke Thunder Rosa in half. As we wonder, can Lamara get back into this? We go to Restaurant Quality, picture in picture. The thing about Thunder Rosa, though, and Jamie Hayter, they share the same amount of experience in the game, James. But again, like I said, Thunder Rosa does own a previous singles victory over Jamie. When I think about Jamie Hayter, though, she's one of those that have looked at the subtleness when it comes to the relationship with her and Dawnbreaker DMD. When she first came into AEW at Britsburg after a successful title defense by the previous champion against Red Velvet. And we've seen how strong the friendship is, but there's been moments of tension. I have to consider, based on this match, will Britt and Jamie eventually have a fallout? I feel it's something to come.
I think it depends on if she wins the belt or not. Because if she does win the belt, there could be tension either way. If she loses the belt, there could be tension either way.
Taking a page out of Thunder Rosa's book, driving her knees into the back of the cover. 2, no.
Yeah,
but then I also look at the other side, too, and I think about Thunderstorm. Of course, Thunder Rosa and Toni Storm, they came together as a tag team after that incredible match at the Forbidden Door, where Thunder Rosa successfully retained her championship. And yet I wonder, does Toni Storm want another crack at the title herself? In this industry, if you're not out to be champion, what are you doing?
Well, right now, she definitely looks like she wants the belt after those Kenta Kobashi-like chops.
Jamie Hayter approaching her near 250th match. Oh, nice snap suplex in her wrestling career. And looks right now to ground the champion.
Jeez. We're talking. She's pulling out all the bulldog tricks with that shin lock.
I like how she's hooking the arm underneath her leg, too, trying to really prevent Thunder Rosa getting any leverage. But Thunder Rosa is getting up to her feet.
Definitely a British Bulldog staple, but that was just a Jamie Hayter staple, just tossing her by the hair right down on the ground.
Former member of Oedo Tai in Stardom, former Goddess of Stardom champion with Bea Priestley. So, of course, Jamie Hayter is no stranger to tag team action.
Hey, that might be the case, but don't forget, Thunder Rosa. Oh, wow, look at this. Come on now.
Britt's giving her hat back the hard way.
As I was saying before, that just rudely happened, and Tony Storm tries to go after Britt and Rebel here. I just wanted to point out that yes, while Jamie Hayter is very successful, don't forget that Thunder Rosa came in here as a double champion. She had the Tokyo Joshi Princess Championship and the NWA Women's World Championship when she came into AEW. So
and of course, Thunder Rosa's most recent successful defense was against Joshi Pro great Miya Yamashita, where again Thunder Rosa nearly got her head kicked off.
Yeah, no kidding.
Good Lord. And when I look at the AEW All Out pay-per-view, at this point, I gotta wonder who will challenge for the Women's Championship. And will it be Thunder Rosa or Jamie Hayter? Jamie Hayter versus Dr. Bigger DMD, that'd be an interesting first, but I don't think they would hotshot something like that quickly. And then if Thunder Rosa retains here, does Toni Storm try and find her way back into the title picture? Do we get some sort of multi-women's match? Do you turn again to a singles thing? I feel a lot of the Women's Championship picture really depends on this match and how both tag teams proceed going forward.
That's a fair point.
Just looking at all pictures as we're back. And right, clubbing shot by Thunder Rosa. Big elbow strike. Jamie Hayter back to her feet. Answers with one of her own. Of course, that fire that lives inside Thunder Rosa. She lives to be tested like this. Man! Just running in for that one. This is a wind-up. We're going to see who loses their base first. Thunder Rosa getting the better of the exchange. Oh! Northern Light suplex. Shoulders down. Oh, kick out at 2. Just like that explosive counter nature by the champion. Jamie Hayter rocked off that.
Uh-oh. This is setting up for bad ways for Jamie Hayter, though.
Britt doesn't look worried, though, it seems, as Thunder Rosa grabs her lower back. Trying to pull herself up, as you said, James. Uh-oh. Oh, man!
Yeah, she brutalized her with that drop kick.
Sent her to the outside to the floor. That's the most vicious drop kick I've seen Thunder Rosa deliver in a long time.
And she delivered a vicious one last week. Senton drop.
Senton atomical from the apron. We'll watch Britt, though. Britt trying to cheer on her friend.
Yeah, Britt is worried about Jamie here. You can actually tell she's actually concerned for her. It's interesting that we've talked about possible dissension in the ranks, though, but doesn't look like it right now because I think Thunder Rosa may have kicked her a little bit too hard.
Yeah, but what if the doctor has her own agenda? Would she want to face Thunder Rosa for the title again, or would she want to face her friend?
Nice cross body.
Cross body. The cover. 2. No.
That was great there by Thunder Rosa, but Thunder Rosa could not get the Duke there. Even pulling out shades of her tag team partner, Toni Storm, with a high cross body, still couldn't get the Duke.
I like how you brought that up. It makes me wonder, what sort of knowledge has Britt passed on to Jamie Hayter? Oh, what's this? Fireman's carry. Rosa escape.
Nice.
O'Connor roll denied. Nope, that's a clothesline. Uh-oh. Backbreaker!
Irish curse variation. That might be all she wrote here. And now look at this. Just stomped her right in the chest.
2. No. Thunder Rosa kicks out again, but grasping that lower back. Jamie Hayter has to stay on the offense here. Got her up. Buster!
That was right on the top of the head.
That might be it. We might have a new champion. 1, 2. No! And Britt was about to let the confetti fall and celebrate.
That was damn close. Take a look at this again.
Here.
Look at that. Bam!
Godly!
That was right on her head, man. I'm surprised Thunder Rosa is even at all conscious after that.
Well, regardless, she is rocked. And hello, Joe. She is rocked, and we'll see how Jamie Hayter falls up here. Again, the challenger has to keep the momentum going. Stay on the offense.
Yeah,
the one thing Jamie Hayter has yet to bring out that definitely is the difference.
She almost got herself disqualified here. And now look at this. Britt Baker
wait.
chokes Thunder Rosa. And here comes Toni Storm. And now we have a brawl right on the outside.
Or a cat fight, as you would like to say. Oh, my God, what a kick.
Nice super kick there by Britt Baker. We got a match going on in the ring and now outside the ring.
And Jamie Hayter looking to capitalize. Wait, look at the wide camera. Toni Storm.
Oh! Tornado DDT on the Britt Baker on the outside.
Thunder Rosa.
O'Connor roll. Ooh, she almost had it.
Thunder Rosa roll up again. Didn't get it. Rose up to her feet. Cazadora looks for the roll through.
Ooh.
Got her hook. 1, 2, 3.
Oh, she got it! She got it after the third one!
Enough disorientation on the challenger with those constant roll-up attempts, and Thunder Rosa finds a way to escape once again. Still AEW Women's World Champion. Shades of her match with Nyla Rose. It didn't take the Fire and Thunder driver. It just took awareness. A hell of a performance, though, by Jamie Hayter, but the champion still victorious. As you said, that follow-up roll-up, trapped both legs, it was over.
I'm noticing there's a lot of emotion on Thunder Rosa's face here as she's holding and clutching that championship. I'm not sure what happened there afterwards, but she definitely got the win nonetheless.
Well, yeah, but again, she was in a fight, James. It's one of those things where, again, we know how much emotion Thunder Rosa has being the AEW Women's Champion, RAW's Women's Champion. And up next, we're going to see how much emotion and how much strong style is brought out. The main event's up next. Claudio Castagnoli defends the Ring of Honor World Championship against Konosuke Takeshita. That was a hell of a women's bout, though. Jamie Hayter, so close. The only thing she didn't get to pull out in that match was that Lariato. If she would have hit that, I think we would have had a new champion. Great showing.
Yeah, Jamie Hayter impressed the hell out of me tonight. Thunder Rosa came with it like I knew she could, but I wasn't really sure what to expect from Jamie, and she impressed me.
Again, give Jamie Hayter more time on AEW Dynamite. Really show us what she brings. And you'd be surprised that she can definitely be a future champion.
Well, with Madison Rayne now in charge, and we'll get to that. That's part of what we're going to be discussing on an open mic night. But with Madison Rayne now in charge, hopefully the women's division will get structured the way we all know that it needs to be to have a really good division.
What you need is her to manage it, and maybe somebody else to hire talent or have her hire talent at this point. So we'll see what happens, but
we got to see what happens over time. And hello, Datia. For those that don't know, please follow Datia on Twitter and on YouTube. She does the Impact recaps and reviews, as well as power rankings for Talk Absolute Nothing of Impact Wrestling. Great friend, great wrestling personality. Go check out her.
Sounds like a female stat person there, so someone Stat Boy may want to talk to.
Do you know if Madison Rayne is done with Impact? Not fully, but as we know, Impact Wrestling, they are, pre-recorded session tapings, because I've been there live. I know how their structure works. And with Madison Rayne now part of AEW, it's hard to say, especially because I do feel like there is still that idea of AEW working with Impact Wrestling as they're open to work with anybody. So I definitely would not rule out Madison Rayne done with Impact. Just doing something else for now.
Yeah. I definitely think she may be kind of jumping in the back seat a little bit as far as Impact goes. Maybe not be as highly featured, but when they need her for an angle or a pay-per-view or something, she'll definitely still be there to help out if needed, I think.
I hope so, because she's actually really impressed me with her tag team run with the Influence, honestly. I kind of want to see where that was going to go.
It's funny because back in the day, I was not a fan of the Beautiful People.
No.
Me and Jeff both got blocked by Madison. I talked some massive crap about her, and Jeff kind of got blocked by proxy being affiliated with me. It was kind of hilarious. But I just was not impressed by the Beautiful People. But then here I am.
I wasn't impressed by her as a wrestler. Now I'm way more impressed with her as a wrestler. I don't know what happened in that time.
But here's the irony of the situation. You fast forward 10, 15 years, and I love Toxic Attraction, and it's basically the same freaking gimmick.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. It was Velvet. Really my bad. I got them mixed up.
Yes.
Botch.
Yes. I forgot you don't. I forgot you don't like Mr. Matthews. Mr. Matthews, that wasn't wise, man. That wasn't wise.
I will follow her right now, live.
There you go.
Followed.
Datia. And Dante also points out if she leaves Impact, they will be down another women's tag team.
They need the tag division. I just said just have Impact work with the women's division in AEW at this point. Why the hell not?
You gotta wait and see, James. There you go. It's optimistic, but also I think about this with the death of the AEW at the Impact Women's Division. It was probably they do form some other like tag team and kind of make a story out of it. It's one thing to put two people together. It's another thing to bring them together through storytelling. Speaking of storytelling, you want to talk about tag teams? FTR returns this Wednesday at Quake by the Lake. Who knows what's ahead for these two?
Well, I know they just got done having a 6-man tag team match at New Japan. Is that correct, Noah?
Yes, and Aussie Open got the win.
Ooh, so we're gonna get an Aussie Open FTR match? Sign me up.
I wouldn't rule it out. It just comes down to where you're going to do it. AEW and GPW strong. But speaking
It's
of
got to be
AEW,
it's got to be New Japan Strong. It's got to be for the tag titles, right? I mean, come on.
it makes sense, right? We got Bobby Cruz.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is time for the main event. Claudio Castagnoli and Konsuke Takeshita.
Bless you.
I'm trying,
Brilliant.
guys.
Kano.
Konosuke Takeshita.
Bless you.
Yay! I'll
Good
get it
luck.
eventually, guys.
Get proud of you, JJ.
Thank
James,
you, Noah.
This is
Thank
going
you.
to be one hell of a match. Konosuke Takeshita, who literally exploded on the scene here in AEW, endorsed by the cleaner Kenny Omega, just under 10 years of experience. And he's already somebody that you could see as a world champion anywhere. Being a champion already in Japan, he is looking to finally win the big one tonight in AEW, but he's got a hell of an obstacle in front of him.
Yeah, he does. I was
Takeshita,
doing my research on him, and I discovered that his debut match was against El Generico. If
Yes.
anybody has a way for me to see that match, I would love to take a look at that. You know, again, going back as far as I do with Generico to Pro Wrestling Guerrilla, and of course now the current Sami Zayn, I would love to take a look at that match and see what those two put on together 10 years ago.
There you go.
I'm gonna tell you right now, you're about to be completely surprised at what Takeshita brings. I know I was when he first arrived on AEW, and what we're gonna see here is a battle of complete and utter destruction for the Ring of Honor World Title, and you got two of the very best athletes to do it for it.
Yeah,
I agree.
what little bit I've seen of Takeshita, I'm definitely impressed, but I feel like I'm still too new to him to really put a proper spin on his abilities. So I definitely need to do my homework and see more tape, more footage, more matches of him. But just the little bit I saw of him on Rampage this past week against Ryan Nemeth, I thought was amazing.
Oh, this is going to be good. We got William Regal on commentary, Caprice Coleman, and Excalibur and Taz. Referee Paul Turner holds up the prestigious Ring of Honor World Championship. James, you know what to do when that bell rings. This is going to be good.
Yeah, you damn right. Members are set into the middle of the
Code of
ring.
Honor.
The code
There we
of
go.
honor is met. Here we go.
Good Lord! They
Trying
both
to go
went
for that-
immediately for the shot.
Yeah, tried to go for that Swiss death uppercut early, but couldn't get it.
Whoa!
Oh, wow.
Yeah, James, you're not going to be able to say a lot unless we get a moment to breathe here, because already out of the
Wow.
gates, these two looking for the killing first shot.
Yeah, both
Whoa.
of them were. Both of them absolutely were. Takeshita saw it coming. You saw that swift death, the running Swiss
Whoa.
uppercut coming. Now we got a
That's
collar
good.
and elbow tie-up. We just slowed down now.
Yeah, for a
But both of
moment.
them were trying to end it early.
A keyword for a moment. Again, Claudio Castagnoli has 2,300 matches in his historic 21-year career. But the thing about Konosuke Takeshita's shoulders down. For a guy that's only been involved in this game for 10 years, he's already been involved in 900 matches.
Yeah, and that's a crazy, crazy statistic. He's already halfway to Claudio's match record.
Not quite
Look at this
halfway,
now.
but
Takeshita.
a little bit over a third. Of course, we all know Claudio Castagnoli. We can talk about his accolades all day, not just in the WWE, but of course PWG, WXW, and finally claiming his first Ring of Honor World Heavyweight Championship against the Octopus Jonathan Gresham back at before Dishonor.
Now take a look at this. Look at that Greco-Roman knuckle lock on the left arm here. Now onto the right, gonna try to keep him pinned, but nice bridge up by Takeshita. Takeshita now trying to keep himself leveraged up here, and now going to try to use his agility to match Claudio's strength here.
Oh, and Claudio
Claudio's
brings him
just
back
too
down, but
damn
look at
strong.
that. Look at that bridge, though. Look at the neck strength. And we all know the disciplines that everybody in Japanese pro wrestling goes through when it comes to their neck.
This is brutal. Brutal landing here for his neck. But look at that. Oh, wait a minute. Monkey flip by
Konosuke trying to roll over. Wow.
Oh, my God. And Claudio with his own goddamn monkey flip. He just sent Takeshita all the way to goddamn Mars.
I love this sport so damn much.
And now here we go. Another stalemate here. Takeshita smiling. He loves this.
You got to appreciate the amount of athleticism and the level of competition we're seeing here being brought out by both these men and each other.
Another shake of the hands here, and here we go. Another. It's more like an exhibition for these two here.
Might as well be. Oh, look at this.
Ooh, nice takedown there. Claudio's such a student in the game here. And, oh, wait a minute. Look at this, though. Takeshita. Oh. Now he's targeting the leg of Claudio. Got him in a leg lock of sorts here.
Crowd chanting, this is awesome. Claudio Castagnoli, bit of the urgent moment here right now.
Especially chanting, this is awesome and not this is wrestling. Because it is wrestling. This is absolutely pure wrestling here.
At any show, you get quality wrestling. You chant, this is awesome. But before we know it, this might devolve into this is wrestling for all we know. As Konosuke tries to get Claudio off of him, and Claudio still holds onto the arm. What's now? Off the ropes. Looking for the... got it!
Nice hip toss there by Konosuke. Setting up here for another maneuver of sorts here, or another stalemate has happened.
Konosuke Takeshita recently involved in matches against Anthony Henry, John Moxley, Ryan Nemeth, Eddie Kingston.
Look at this.
We got Regal right now giving us the...
it's just a complete mat clinic here between these guys. They're trying to exchange holds here.
This is quite interesting because for Konosuke's matches, he's usually about that explosive power. We're getting more of a technical side of him in this bout.
Yeah, absolutely.
Bringing Claudio down to one knee.
Front face lock here. Front face lock trying to get Claudio grounded here, but gets caught in a wrist lock.
Claudio's just too strong, James. He's working the arm now.
Ooh. And now into a side headlock takeover.
Hey, didn't MJF beat Darby Allin with one of those, I thought? Oh, look at this! Reversal of pressure, shoulder! Watch the shoulders.
Almost got both shoulders down with that reversal there.
Konosuke Takeshita been in the rings also with the likes of the Golden Lovers, Kota Ibushi, Kenny Omega, mixed tag team action, Michael Satomura, El Lindemann, of course, with OWE. So Konosuke has definitely been tested his entire career, trained by the great Nakayama, and right now Claudio underneath. Oh, wait.
Trying to go for that hip toss again was Takeshita. And there's a wrestling takedown. Vintage Claudio there.
And, of course, Claudio made his AEW debut at Forbidden Door, beating Zack Sabre Jr.
Ooh, nice calf kick there by Konosuke. Konosuke just showed a lot there. He was able to counter Claudio's maneuvers. He's done his homework.
And meanwhile, Daniel with a comment here, but when it comes to the main event, crowd was really, really pumped. Even I was shouting for his second match because it was really, really good. Even some of the crowd was giving a standing ovation. Oh, well, I've already seen some people stand with the feats of athleticism. Oh, man. Wow. That's a shot. That's one of those shots that make Konosuke a 5-time KOD champion in his home promotion, DDT Pro in Japan. And meanwhile, Claudio looking to fall. Oh, clubbing shot to the back.
Here we go. Now look at this. Into an Irish Curse backbreaker. Shades of his old bar tag team partner, Sheamus. And now into a tilt-a-whirl backbreaker for good measure.
And Claudio Castagnoli turns the tide around, changes momentum back into his favor.
Now
and right now, cover two, not
to the leg and a kick out.
As we go to restaurant quality, picture-in-picture, both these men are definitely wearing the other down. We look at Konosuke Takeshita, and Claudio right now is exploiting the lower back. You look at Takeshita's offense, he's either going to try and jack Claudio's jaw or work the arm. Speaking of arms, there's a vicious European uppercut. And James, I still dare you to find me another person to this day that delivers a meaner European uppercut than Claudio Castagnoli.
The short answer is I can't, and I won't try. Oh. There's a nice back suplex right on the back of Konosuke's head. Now going for another lateral press and a kick out.
Claudio right now slowing down Konosuke. Again, we all know the explosive nature of Takesuke's offense, whether it's that flying clothesline off the ropes or that running, jumping knee strike or that blue thunder bomb. Any of those could be a lights-out maneuver in this bout.
Oh, my God. Look at this submission right now. Look at that. A formation of a regal stretch and with surfboard stretch of sorts. Got his elbow right to the small of the upper back here. He's got his knee in the small of the back on the spine. He's got his arm right on his upper back. That's such a brutal hold.
Well, I mean, you talk about what he exploits here. So he's exploiting the lower back, like we said. He's also working the neck, which, of course, we know is highly disciplined in the art of Japanese pro wrestling. And now he's looking for a straitjacket to try and cut off the oxygen, it seems.
Yeah, and not only was he looking for a straitjacket, he transitioned out of the Dragon Sleeper, shades of the Undertaker variation there.
The shades of Cold Skull Sonata, who, of course, implies the Dragon Sleeper in almost all of his matches, the Skull End. And right now, Konosuke's fighting back.
There we go. Elbows right to the gut here. That's what you got to do against Claudio. You got to try to take out the lower base.
Again, Claudio's power. But Claudio is just as dangerous on the mat as he is on his feet.
Nice maneuvering there. Look at that, blocking the suplexes, Konosuke. And there are some liver shots there by Claudio.
Oh, someone's trying to get leverage here. Can he lift him up? No, he counters. Claudio, though. Both these men looking for the suplex here. Good grief.
Yeah, it's a complete...
Oh, wow.
He got him! There's a stalling suplex by Konosuke. Talk about strength there.
And that finally will allow Konosuke a bit of time to breathe.
And that's exactly what he needed, Noah.
No kidding. Daniel, that main event made me want... Yeah, I definitely agree. Data, we did. Go check out... Oh, God! And Konosuke just got dropped.
Yeah, he got dropped with a hard shot.
We did watch Ric Flair's match last Sunday. We did a play-by-play commentary watch-along. Me and Jeff did. Feel free to check that out. It was quite an interesting independent wrestling show. Oh, backbreaker. Man, people are working the back all night, it seems.
Now look at that. Going for a reverse bow and arrow here. Using the knee right on that back again. Been targeting that back ever since that spear into the apron by Claudio.
It surprises me that Claudio hasn't exploited the fireman's carry and gone for the Argentine variation of the backbreaker. Shades of what Powerhouse Hobbs does to a degree. Everything that Claudio's been doing with Konosuke has been focusing on attacking him using the base of his body. Speaking of which.
Look at that. Using his rugby background. Just
let's not forget about that.
Right to the back.
That's a full-on contact sport. That ain't football. That ain't football. That is just people colliding knees and arms with each other in hopes of kicking a ball and a goal. And we're back now.
And now Konosuke, he's trying to get back up here. Look at this. Trying to reverse the pressure here.
He's trying, James. He's trying. Can he do it, though? Oh, back elbow strike.
Elbow strike. Right to the back, though. Double sledge.
He's once again working over that back. I don't see everyone else's comments. I don't know why. I can't see them. Oh, you might be on a certain channel because this is being streamed across multiple platforms. But welcome to the party.
Jeez.
Oh, man.
What a vicious uppercut here.
Irish whip. Konosuke into the other corner. Konosuke with the back elbow strike trying to fight back. Claudio bit rocked there. Konosuke up the second rope. Claudio might be looking for that drop kick. We all know the height. Claudio can reach. Wait a minute. Whoa!
Ooh, nice Hurricane Rana there by Konosuke.
Another clubbing shot with the forearm, but Claudio reversal, clothesline, doesn't do the clothesline. Konosuke picks up speed. Here we go. Flying clothesline.
Shades Undertaker right there by Konosuke.
And that woke the crowd up a little bit, but again, can Konosuke capitalize? How much of that he took out himself doing that? Excuse me.
Absolutely. Konosuke is definitely still holding that back. He's favoring it. And now he's trying to go for a back suplex attempt here, but Claudio able to hit him right in the back of the head with elbow strikes.
Yeah, I'm not sure how wise this is. Oh, big strike. Claudio looks to follow up and send over the top to the floor. Uh-oh. James. Konosuke.
Here we go. There's Konosuke. Tope con hilo by Konosuke Takeshita.
Gets all of it. But he's got to get it back in the ring. Let's take a look at the replay here. Beautiful tope con hilo, as you call it, James.
And now he sends him back into the ring. It looks like Konosuke going to try to go to the high rent district.
Man, I would love to see this revisited in places like freaking Corrigan Hall or the Budokan. I would love to see both these men involved in a match in Japan. Oh, man!
You gotta be kidding me. What an uppercut. You can hear that all the way up at the rafters, that one.
And Claudio looking to capitalize. Got the gut wrench off the second rope.
Bam!
Oh! That might be it.
That's
The cover.
gotta be.
1, 2. No.
Konosuke kicked out. He's
That
showing
just goes to
toughness
the
here.
will. That just goes back to the will that Konosuke Takeshita has demonstrated here, not just in AEW, but his entire pro wrestling career, James.
And
Jun
now look at
Akiyama,
the crowd
that's
is
training.
cheering for it. They want the giant swing.
Are we going to get it?
And Cesaro's going to try to give it to him, but the only issue is, will Konosuke even allow it to happen? Oh, here we go.
You got your answer. Start
There's the
counting.
giant swing. Sound the
Good Lord.
alarms, ladies and gentlemen. Swiss Superman on point here tonight. And
Further
look at him
pressure.
go.
Oh, further pressure on the back, the neck, everything. That might be it. Enough disorientation to cover, too. Oh.
Yeah, that disoriented Claudio for a second, and that might have been what may have saved Konosuke here in this matchup. That momentary hesitation by Claudio trying to get his cobwebs together.
Yeah, but look at Konosuke. His equilibrium has been rocked. He doesn't even know where he's at right now. Oh!
Well, if he didn't know where he was at before, I don't think he knows where he's at now after the double uppercut into the corners here.
I don't know. You got that instinct in you when you learn. Oh, my God, with that big boot in the corner. Shades of a Paluma kick by El Generico. Falls up. Oh, God, hook.
Blue Thunder Bomb!
Recover.
Oh, my God.
1, 2. No.
Oh, my God. He almost had it. He almost had the title.
We got 2 seconds so far. He just needs to add 1 extra second. And we got a new world champion. Konosuke is definitely coming up on the back door of maybe the biggest win of his entire career. And right now, what's Claudio? Oh, there's a boot. Oh,
nice
and
pump
Konosuke
kick.
rocked in the ropes.
Yeah, both men exhausted here. Look at Claudio trying to gather his breath as much as Konosuke is.
Well, you remember what Claudio said. Now that he's champion, the real work begins. Oh!
Ooh.
Good awareness by Konosuke, driving Claudio face first to the turnbuckle. Trying to pull out something from the corner on the ropes. And Claudio looks to follow suit. Uh-oh.
This might not be good for Konosuke.
We already got a gut wrench from here earlier, James. What the hell else could happen here?
Well, I don't know, but this doesn't look good
Wait
for
a
either
second.
man here. What the hell is Konosuke trying to do here?
Wait, whoa.
Oh! A front suplex right to the face, right to the mush of Claudio Castagnoli. It was
DDT, fall with a splash, didn't get off it, but the cover too, no!
Wow.
That was innovative. I've never seen a DDT like that. Look at that.
Yeah.
He planted him on the top turnbuckle, elevated
Followed
him.
up with a high five flow, but as you said, no, I think that might have been what saved Claudio. He did not get all of it, and that might have been the kickstart to the heart Claudio needed.
No kidding. And Konosuke goes to fall, looking for that knee strike. Claudio catches it.
Yeah, trying to go for the final flash knee,
Wait a
trying
minute.
to go for the Swiss uppercut.
Next leg, nope. Doesn't leave the clothesline. Konosuke picks up speed, comes out the ropes. Doesn't leave that clothesline, picks up speed. Like, oh
my
God!
What a goddamn uppercut! That's
1,
it.
2, I'm in there. Oh!
You're kidding me? He kicked out on instinct.
He caught him with a European uppercut out of a mid-air attempted flying clothesline, and now looking for the sharpshooter.
Wow.
Oh, Konosuke's got to raise his body up. Got to find the ropes.
Oh, and now into a crossface. Oh, wait a minute.
Rolling it back to the middle.
That was brilliant by Claudio. But
Oh,
wait a minute. Look at that
reverse the
Konosuke.
pressure.
Into a cover pin here.
Woo, both men had abandoned that. That was a great countermeasure by Konosuke. I don't think this is wise.
That is not wise at all.
Oh, here we go.
But you know
I think Claudio wants this, James. I think Claudio wants this.
Yeah, you know how the Blackpool Combat Club operates, Noah.
Yeah, of
They
course.
love a good fight.
Forced in combat. Oh, that's their knee. Big
Oh, what a
suplex.
snap German suplex.
The Claudio back on his feet. God, what a lariat. And Konosuke's back up on his feet. Catches Claudio with another suplex. Claudio back up on his feet. What the hell?
What a lariat by Konosuke. Both men down now.
He
And there's Konosuke in the cover.
No.
Oh, my God. Claudio almost lost the title.
2.5. After that ridiculous exchange of offense by both men, with Konosuke getting the last shot in. Oh,
And this crowd is absolutely electric. They're on their feet. Every member of this audience now standing up and applauding these men.
this is for the Ring of Honor World Championship. This is what defines you as the best professional wrestler on the planet. This is the standard that this title has built of its 20-plus year legacy, and we're seeing it demonstrated by both men here tonight in the main event of Battle of the Belts 3. And right now, Kenosha
Now look at that, trying to go for a discus elbow and just got caught with that Swiss uppercut.
Pop up.
Now pop-up variation. Oh, wait a minute. He got caught. He got caught.
Go!
Oh, my God.
God!
Oh, there's a flash knee.
Brainbuster!
Oh, my God.
They're coming! New champion! New champion! No!
Wow. What a back and forth matchup. Without question, this has got to be the match of the entire AEW week as we see the Brainbuster. He damn near knocked Claudio's lights out without move.
2.99. Doesn't get closer than that without the bell ringing. What's it going to take? Takes the elbow pad off. Konosuke in the fight of his life.
No doubt.
Now, same about Claudio,
look
though.
at this, trying to go for that discus elbow, and he connects with it.
But, James, remember, Claudio has that mouthpiece in his mouth to help prevent a knockout.
That is true.
Oh, and the back giving away. He's looking for a power bomb, maybe Tiger Driver. And Claudio,
now
the
look at that,
reversal.
trying to go for
roll
back
up,
body
Konosuke,
drop.
shoulders down, legs over.
Oh,
God!
Jesus, what an uppercut into the double stomp.
And he did go to the pin, though. He did go to the pin, looking for the straight jacket. Got him up for the recall. One!
Oh!
Konosuke rolled through. Hooks the leg. Two! No!
Oh, my God. How close was that? Are you kidding me?
How the hell did Konosuke do that counter to the Ricola bomb? You are looking at a champion and a championship level challenger here tonight on AEW, ladies and gentlemen.
That it goes without question.
What the hell is Konosuke looking for here now? Claudio just trying to get his bearings. Blocks the suplex attempt. Big elbow strike. Looking for a discus. Konosuke ducks underneath. Konosuke follow up. Gets caught. Gets caught. Oh!
Death Valley Driver.
Holy hell.
Oh, now look at that. Claudio's head and the back is actually cut open.
But look at that move. That move, James, had to be out of desperation. How the hell he pulled it off, I don't know. But neither man right now able to capitalize. Take a replay. God!
That was brutal.
Man, that
he got him right on the top of his head, too.
All right, both men back up, and we're back to the striking exchange. So you gets the better of this one. Grit your teeth.
This is unbelievable, this fight here.
Like
Claudio, springboard uppercut.
Corkscrew springboard uppercut. God, follow-up lariat. And now, hook in the arm. There's the hammering anvil elbows by Claudio Castagnoli, staple of the Blackpool Combat Club.
A staple of Bryan Danielson. Now it's going to try to go for the Ricola bomb here.
He's got him up. Ricola! Claudio retains the title. My God.
What a freaking match. Holy shit.
Take nothing away from what Konosuke Takeshita showed us here tonight. That was a hell of a battle.
Yeah, definitely not a surprise in the finish, but man, what a contest. Takeshita, once again, just totally impressed the hell out of me.
Konosuke Takeshita belongs up there with the men that have held this Ring of Honor title. He went move for move tonight, physical and technical, with Claudio Castagnoli in one hell of a fight.
What a great matchup here.
Well, that concludes this Battle of the Belts in this first half of the Champion Number production. For James Hubert, JJ, and the Stat Boy, I'm the Cement Noah Foster, and now we turn face over to the second half of this production. What a Battle of the Belts. Woo!
That was awesome. Wow, what a match.
That's professional wrestling! Damn it!
Damn it!
Buy a shirt. Buy a shirt.
Buy that.
Oh, my.
Congratulations.
Yes, please. Yep. Cool.
What is Jeff doing to us?
I'm cool with it.
You know what? Toni Storm is on the cover of Fitness Girls. The girl's got the body, the physique, and the capable athleticism. And hey, Natalya, she's just doing her own thing with her sis. So I'm okay with it. Again,
totally.
women in wrestling can be both beautiful and athletic.
And we'll be right back with Open Mic Night following a preview of Casa D18 Studios offering for the month of August. So there we go. That is what is coming the month of August on the Casa D18 Studios channel.
Whew.
Yes, Datia, that is the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers movie that you saw in the trailer there. Honestly,
just made
when
her
it came
super
to
happy.
that, I saw when I went to her Twitter during the main event, I saw that she does Power Ranger content. So I knew if she was still here for that, she was probably going to pop for that. It
Yeah, I
honestly
wasn't going to
came
spoil
down.
that for you.
It honestly came down to either doing that or I was even considering covering the Green with Evil saga, the 5-episode miniseries that introduced the Green Ranger.
That is
But-
goated.
But
Fact.
I was
That is
convinced
fact.
that
That's my
because
childhood.
my
Mine too.
shtick is movie reviews, stick with the movie.
Can
So-
you know? Total impromptu topic since we brought up Power Rangers. A serious question for everybody.
Okay.
How the hell have we not gotten a pro wrestling and Power Rangers crossover once?
Right?
It's so pro wrestling.
Right?
How
It really
do you
is.
not
I
have
mean,
Tommy wrestle
we-
once in his
we've-
career? Chasing David Frank all day. Why you do that?
We've had wrestlers with gear inspired
Okay,
by the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. But yeah, I
That's
mean, at the very least, you know, some kind of celebrity involvement, you would think that, hell, we had Chuck Norris kick Jeff Jarrett
right.
once upon a time. like for real, having Tommy or something, Jason David Frank, Austin St.
Dude,
John, hell, David Yost, Walter Jones,
dude, any of them.
if you pay attention to the intro for Renegades Reviews, I've met Walter Jones and have his picture in there. You know what, Jeff? Shut up. You wrong for that. You wrong for that. But
He's
yeah,
out of line. He's out of line. Apparently, he is wrong, according to JJ.
the Mighty
Oh wait, it
Morphin
says
Power
he did
Rangers.
lose to since he did lose to Flair, does that make him a former horseman now? He no longer was a part of the horseman?
I don't know. I don't know if that was ever part of the stip or not.
Yeah.
Oh,
check
brilliant.
the rule sheet.
The Power Rangers is definitely something that I grew up with too, and I really didn't want to like it at first because being as old as I am, I remember the original Power Rangers when it was called Voltron.
Oh no. Oh boy. Voltron.
Saying, five
Voltron.
friends,
I remember
lions
that
came
too.
together, form a big old battle bot. It was freaking Power Rangers before there was Power Rangers. And I know Power Rangers started in Japan and came over, but still, like, I grew up with Voltron. So when Power Rangers hit the scene, I was like, what is this wannabe Voltron bullshit?
I remember him saying that.
But then I saw Green with Evil, and I was like, okay, this shit's got me hooked.
Yeah.
And to this day, those are the top 5 episodes in the entire original run for me. Green with Evil is better than anything else that they put out.
Can't argue that. As far as the Power Morphicon, I haven't even been to any sort of like wrestling convention or con in my whole life, so probably not. Plus, being first time homeowner, I'm still figuring out my wallet. I'm not doing anything else live wrestling after this month.
I would love to go to Power Morphicon. I've talked about going to it a few times, but it's always a money issue.
Yeah.
By the
Yeah,
time
yeah,
it comes
yeah.
around, by the time it rolls around, it's always a money issue. And it's sad because it always comes around my birthday in August. But just money I can't justify spending it on myself. And the money's just not there. So
there you go. All right.
But open
Good
mic
trick down memory lane.
night. We have 4 topics that we're going to be discussing tonight. We got one we're going to get into hot off the heels of the AEW special we just had. We have 3 that are a little bit more WWE centric. For those of you that are watching and wondering, we are not going to address tonight the Warner Discovery thing that's going on. We're going to wait until we get a little bit more information about it, a little bit more facts about what the future lies with that before we get in depth about it. So if you want our thoughts about it, you're going to have to super chat us for that topic. Just throwing that out there right now. That is not on our itinerary.
I'll do this one for Jeff. In other words, we're not going by Davy Boy's freaking word. Okay, we're just not gonna do it. So wait until more information comes out. There you go.
Wouldn't be prudent at this juncture. Anyways, and if y'all get that, then
I get that. I get that reference.
I get the reference.
So, first topic
FDM.
on the agenda, coming straight out of the AEW Battle of the Belts, the announcement that was made this week about the expansion of the development team and talent relations. Tony Khan announced the expansion to the team with the promotions of staff members including Sanjay Dutt, QT Marshall, Pat Buck, and Tony Schiavone. In addition, the addition of Madison Rain as a coach in the women's division. Sanjay Dutt is the vice president of production and creative. He's going to be coordinating storylines and be a liaison between post-production and key staff. You've got QT Marshall, who's been promoted to vice president of show and creative. He's going to be managing the show elements, including planning programs, storylines, character development, etc. Pat Buck, Vice President of Talent Development, be a liaison with the talent and production, oversee the coaches, provide input on matches and promos, and lead the talent relations team. Tony Schiavone is the senior producer and special advisor to the talent. He's going to be working directly with the talent, part of the talent relations team. Madison Rain, of course, coach for the women's division, kicked off her new role in Columbus, Ohio. And then Christopher Daniels is going to continue to serve as he has been as the manager of talent relations. Team's going to remain in close contact with legal and talent resources, led by Margaret Stalvey, Chris Peck, and Mega Parik.
Close enough.
Not sure how to pronounce that. I apologize for butchering the last name, though.
The K and H throws it off, but continue.
But yeah, I mean, this is big news for the future of AEW. Obviously, they took note of the Vince McMahon retirement. They took note of where Hunter is as far as creative, and Stephanie and Nick Khan and what's going on. And Tony Khan, I feel, has been smart in trying to research their structure and try to structure AEW a little bit more in the same vein.
Right.
I personally, being one of the newer AEW fans to the room, can only see this as a positive and nothing but good things on the road ahead for AEW as a result of this. Noah, where does this lead AEW in the very near future, and even 5-10 years down the road, assuming the Warner Media thing doesn't have the hindrance that it potentially could?
Well, if you're ever going to grow your product, communication is key. That's just the freaking statement of life, and that goes to anything in and out of the professional wrestling industry. With all these different fronts and these leaders to help guide your product, to help move talent, to help motivate them, to communicate with them. When you can't get a hold of Tony Khan necessarily, who's like the end all be all, but not the only say in all. It can only mean brighter things going forward. For the longest time, the biggest criticism we've had about AEW is the women's division. They finally got somebody involved with the experience in and out of the ring that will help with coaching. And yes, I know that Dustin also helps as well. And we also have Serena Deeb that helps to a degree. But having Madison Rain adds a whole lot more to the forefront because it feels like she's going to be more direct. We already got a bit of that approach when she fought against Layla Gray. Layla Gray, okay, she's still got some time to grow. Nice showing on AEW Rampage. And now we're going to see how Jade Cargill really goes with one of the best long-term vets, former Impact Knockouts champions in the game. As far as Tony Schiavone, QT Marshall, I kind of saw that since day one, them being more of the production side, guiding the structure and the way of the product. I mean, you kind of got shades of that on Rampage when you saw Ricky Starks be confronted by the Factory. Who was the person to speak up in front to him? QT Marshall. And Pat Buck, we all know his former work with WWE. He was involved in literally producing some matches. And Sanjay Dutt, he has had history with this type of stuff since Ring of Honor. For me, this just provides more avenues for talent to grow, have their voices be heard, and see what the product can do to structure themselves better. Because at the end of the day, morale and communication helps bring a better product, not just what you book on television, because the locker room will feel more comfortable and feel like they're being heard. So this could only mean good things going forward. I can't wait to see what's next.
Yeah, the addition of Madison really makes me think of Gail Kim for Impact and
Exactly.
AJ Lee coming in and Mickey James doing her thing. Mikey, what is your takeaway from all this? I mean, I know you're kind of like me and you're still kind of getting your feet with AEW also, but with the addition of Madison Rain and the structuring that's been going on, what do you see going forward with AEW?
What I saw on first look is I'm comparing this to athletes in the other major sports leagues that have finished their physical job and they are still trying to hold on to that which holds them dear. You see it in the NFL, you see it in Major League Baseball, you see it in basketball, you see it in hockey, you see it in NASCAR. the legendary people, the people that have won a title, the people that, have done so well in their sport, and their job is done. They can't do it anymore, or they got hurt. So that's my first take on it. Going forward, I would like to see what happens next as well, just like Noah Foster said. With Madison Rain coming in, I didn't follow her much in The Beautiful People. I do know of her. She made that team, and her character, she did that. If she can boost the morale of the AEW women's division, then yes, it's an absolute positive. No way. Take AEW to that next level to try and match WWE. Will they surpass it? Maybe. I'm still on the fence on that one. If Triple H hadn't come back, and if Vince didn't go away, then maybe they would get closer and closer to where they finally would pass them. But hey, it's like a clean slate. It's like or you're building the next level. See where it goes.
It's a fair assessment. I'm not really sure if the women's division in AEW needs a boost of morale per se, but there's definitely some structuring that needs to be done. I know one of the major criticisms has been about Jade and her performance and how she got a little bit too much too quick and is still very green to the business and in ring work. And while she has gotten better as the weeks and months have gone on,
right?
If she had somebody like a Madison in the beginning, who knows where she could be today? And it still seems like, with the exceptions of Jade, Britt, and even Thunder Rosa, they're still relying very heavily on some of the ex-WWE women cast-offs to help get their homegrown talent where they need to be. James, what do you see for this going forward?
And James, the producer has a kind of like an interesting point here, because one name we're not talking about, who's been involved in talent relations as well and the production side, is good old JR, Jim Ross. So feel free to add this question to your thoughts, because he does make kind of an interesting point.
Well, honestly, when it comes down to the issue with the women, which is probably the true thing they need to work on the most, the issue comes down to I think a lot of people realize they have a good roster, but they still need that big name. I don't even know if they have Sasha Banks even in the freaking cards anymore. She's probably already back with WWE at this point. But you got to get somebody that can actually get them to that level of, okay, this is a big freaking deal. At this point, you got names. You could have. I mean, I'm surprised they didn't even reach out to, Trish Stratus at this point, who's not even, I don't think, contracted anywhere.
They're going.
That would be such a coup for AEW. I know we're talking about, WWE cast-offs are a problem, but it's like, well, yeah, they have WWE cast-offs, but WWE cast-offs that weren't utilized properly. They could absolutely add something to the women's division. The problem is they feature them just as much as the AEW women who've been there since day one, which is not really that much. So it comes down to, they need a person who can help guide a women's division into the vision they want. Madison Rain's a hell of a start. I think if you need for Trish would be the one person I get. If I'm Madison, I'm getting Trish. I'm doing anything I can to try to bring Trish in, because Trish is the one woman who we really haven't gotten the full concept of how she views women's wrestling. We know what Gail thinks. We know what Mickey thinks. We know what all these women, legendary women in the industry, think. We have yet to see how Trish could run a women's division. That's what makes me intrigued. Not to mention, she could be the CM Punk of the female division right away. Right away. So I'm hoping that while Madison Rain is here, she goes after big money plays like that. As far as everything else goes, you got Tony Schiavone coming in as a senior producer and special advisor to talent. I'm not sure how I feel about that, only because he's always kind of been the interview guy. I do know that the main reason he was probably there was so that way he could have more control of his damn interview segments, which have honestly improved if this has been going on for a while anyway. And because keep in mind, they usually have these type of teams formed way before they actually make the announcement. So that's why I say that. Um, so there's at least that for Tony. He's not getting interrupted anymore unless it's like really needed. Like in case in point, when Jungle Boy tried to run down Christian Cage last week, which was actually really damn good and had a lot of impact because it hadn't been happening for months with people interrupting him. So that's a plus. But still, Tony out of the booth, and putting him and JR behind the scenes. I'm not sure how I feel about it. Could be interesting. We'll see what happens, but at this point, if it's trying to help the company, anything is fine by me. Everybody else I'm cool with. QT Marshall, that shows me a couple things. They trust QT Marshall a lot.
Yep.
Like a lot. If you're putting QT there, that's the notable name for me because who does he work with still in the Nightmare Factory? Works with Cody. So that's a big freaking deal. That alone is happening, and they promoting him. So I think the whole idea that people that were friends with Cody are going to leave AEW, I think we could put that to bed. I don't think it's going to have anything to do with that. But who knows what could happen a year down the line, 2 years down the line, with QT in charge of this department. I feel like the shows lately have been great. Ever since Fight for the Fallen, they've been getting better as the weeks have gone on. I enjoyed last week's Dynamite. I really enjoyed the week before, where they made like I don't even know how many stars in one night. And on last week I got like Attitude Era vibes, mainly because of Wardlow having a catchphrase, and the crowd was really freaking into it. That's big. So stuff like that, if QT's in charge of that, that's a plus too. That's really my big takeaways on that. I know Pat Buck and Sanjay will be good in their roles because they already happened. So,
I mean, you talked about tonight, James. We had actual graphics for the championships to promote what actually was about to come ahead.
And they need to do that a lot more, I think, going forward. That was a great touch. I know that was for Battle of the Belts, and it showed the belts. They need to do more of that for every show, not just Battle of the Belts.
Agree. I mean, one of the things about AEW for me, and again, I'm going to keep saying it until I've beat the horse dead. I'm still new to the company, but most of the Dynamites and Rampages that I've been watching, they may be good in the moment. I wouldn't say that any of them have been bad shows, but they don't really leave a lasting impression. Where a couple days later, I'm like, oh man, did you see what happened with such and such on Dynamite? Like the old Attitude Era or even some of the Ruthless Aggression Era stuff did in WWE. There's not anything right now that's that water cooler talk. I'm not seeing any of those type of big moments coming out of the shows. And hopefully with these people now that are going to be elevated up in more production status, we can get a little bit of that because I think they need some of those water cooler type of moments to help them get their ratings to where they want to be. I know they definitely want to be at the million mark each week. And regardless of what we think about ratings being old, the Nielsen's not being what they used to be, not taking into consideration streaming and whatnot, they want to try to get to that level, if for no other reason but for advertising revenue and whatever outside projects they want to do, more stuff like the video game, etc. They want to know that they're reaching that type of audience, and I think if they can get some more of those water cooler type moments, they're going to help boost that viewership up to the level where they really want to get to, and then they can continue their journey upwards.
That's a fair point too. But again, we also got to consider this: AEW. They are literally still the new kids on the block in this entire professional wrestling industry on this scale. We haven't seen anything on this scale in this industry for the longest daggum time. So the fact that we're already seeing this corporate restructuring, I feel is already a positive start in their continued evolution of the company. You think about the roster, what it started with, and how they've grown from there. You think about the booking strategies. You
Mhm.
think about the outreaches. You think about the collaboration projects they've worked on. You think about the deals that they've accomplished with New Japan Pro Wrestling. You think about the markets they're trying to reach now with Canada coming up. So again, it's just all at the end of the day progression. But change is good. And this right
Yeah,
here, these changes yield nothing, I feel, but positive stuff ahead at the forefront.
What they need,
definitely.
what they need to add, and I'm surprised they haven't added it, is somebody in charge with I don't even know how to say the name of the title, but do you guys remember when? Well, I'll go all the way back to Eric Bischoff time period when he was running Nitro, and he was getting these crazy freaking deals with Sturgis and NASCAR and stuff
Mhm.
like that.
Mhm.
Like I'm not saying they have to get specifically those, but I'm using that as an example. We
Right,
need
right, right.
somebody in the department of that because that would drastically improve AEW's viewership, I think, because more eyeballs from other products will hopefully gravitate to eyeballs to yours,
Like
right?
a branding officer?
Pretty much. Thank you. Yeah, a branding officer. That's
Yeah,
exactly what's.
I mean, it's not a bad idea. You figure they worked out that deal and they were doing Hog Wild, Road Wild at Sturgis. They were doing Bash on the Beach, like literally on the beach,
Right.
whether it was in Florida or Southern California. You guys,
Exactly. Yeah.
you know, and while you still had some of their typical target demographic there, you also had so many like innocent bystanders that were just showing up because it was taking place at said event, that you got all these outside eyes on the product that maybe wouldn't have watched before.
Exactly.
If they could work out a thing and maybe do like a show at the Daytona 500
Yes. Or
where you're going to have, for lack of a better term, because I don't want to, alienate or discriminate on the audience, but, wrestling and especially Southern wrestling has always been like that redneck wrestling type of demo. And that really carries through into NASCAR. But if you do a show where you're going to have a lot of those eyes there anyways that maybe don't watch the product, merchandise sales, ratings in future weeks be like, oh man, I liked what I saw there at the Daytona races. I'm gonna have to go home and check out what day did they say their show is? What time?
yeah, exactly. And that's another thing. You mentioned all these different locations they could do, right?
Mm-hmm.
You need to start small, and AEW is starting small. The problem is they're starting small within the section of the audience they already have. That's the issue. You know, I'm not saying that there isn't a point to that. You could do it like that. That's fine. The audience is there for sure. We did. Shane Wells talked about it on No DQ how we got a legacy audience in pro wrestling of 3 million people. So you're bound to get some of that audience there, close to a million every week, which is great for AEW. But you know, you can grow that. These are the ways you can grow that.
Yeah.
You put that on a beach. You put what we just saw between Konosuke Takeshita and Cesaro or Claudio Castagnoli on a beach,
Yeah, Santa Monica Pier out here in
right?
Southern California.
Southern
Boom.
or Miami Beach
Yeah.
or any beach really. Just put it on a beach, right? Like we have Beach Break. How is Beach Break not taking place on a beach? Right? No, I'm dead serious.
No,
you
No, I
have
know
make
you
a
are.
valid
But
point.
I went to the last beach break. I know exactly what you're talking about. In the middle of winter in Cleveland, Ohio.
here's an even better idea for you. We got Fighter Fest, right? I know the whole idea is it's a term on Fire Fest, but why not have Fighter Fest in like a martial arts gym. Like, why not? Here's a great example. Why not have an AEW Fighter Fest in, American Top Team's gym and have a special show there? Stuff like that can go
Not
a
a bad
long
idea.
way for building up viewership.
But again, you also got to book that far in advance because you're also considering these type of booking scenarios. You got to make sure you actually can book the venue, and that's a lot of thing also that could really hold down. It's where you can book at the time you want to.
Mm.
Here's another place, and I know Stat Boy here will get the reference, and producer, off camera will get the reference. I don't know if you guys have ever been out here in SoCal, but put a ring right in the middle of the Esplanade there at Disneyland.
Yes.
You've got a huge opening between where the main gate is for the main park at Disneyland and where the gate is for the entrance to DCA. You put a 20 by 20 right in the middle, let people kind of like crowd around and check it out as they're bouncing between parks. Some people won't stop because, oh man, we got a fast pass for Space Mountain. We gotta get to that, but then there's the people that are going to be walking around and be like, is that Bryan Danielson and what is he doing in a ring at Disneyland?
Right. Or here's one for you as well. You talked about Disneyland. They're also got to deal with Universal Studios for AEW Dark. Why not have?
There you go.
You don't have to
Universal
do it in
Hollywood
Studio. You could do it in Universal Hollywood, right in the front gate, anywhere, right there, right?
City Walk.
Yeah.
Universal City Walk. You've got Florida. You've got LA. Right there.
And you got Ring of Honor too, which is a part of the AEW umbrella. Why not have why not do like Ring of Honor and like a high school football field and build some more bleachers and seats? That would be innovative. Last time we saw like an arena being built in like some sort of parking lot or football field or whatever, like first thing that comes to mind is like WrestleMania 9. So stuff like that, again, can go a long way to increasing the viewership over time. It's not going to happen overnight, but little steps like that can build that audience, can get more eyes on the product.
There you go.
Absolutely. The less we talk about WrestleMania 9, the better. That was one of the worst WrestleManias, but I totally get where you're coming from. No, I get where you're coming from. And just to put my 2 cents in on what Jeff had thrown up way back there about Shivani and JR, I don't know if Shivani moving to this producer role is necessarily going to take him out of the booth per se.
I don't think it will.
We all know that JR is limited in what he can do anyways. He's one of those legendary mouthpieces. I think if you throw him behind the scenes working with talent and everything like he did back in the day, his health is such as that it could deteriorate and we could lose him a lot sooner rather than later.
You got to consider the mental impact of that job as well. Like he talked about it in his book Under the Black Hat back when he used to do it, and the type of stuff and the type of days that sometimes he went home to his wife and he wasn't sure how to necessarily handle what came with it, and who he had to deal with fire and hire, following the big man's blueprint, etc. So,
what's up, Step Boy?
What's up?
I don't want to ruffle any feathers with producer Jeff there, but City Walk can handle some pretty good events. I mean, if you remember, they actually did have a wrestling themed event there. I think right there in front of the Hard Rock was the majority of the space. So if you're thinking, if you're saying they don't have space for the ring, that I can understand. But
I think that's what he's talking about, is trying to set up a full-on 20 by 20 and do a show there.
Okay.
There's a little bit more space in like downtown Disney on both coasts for something like that than there is at City Walk.
I have another thing I want to bring up.
Got it.
As far as like people getting more people to watch the product.
Go for it, James.
I remember as they're running out, and I'm reliving it now thanks to Wrestling Bios. If you have not watched this channel, I don't know what you're doing on YouTube, and you're a wrestling fan. Go watch
I check out Wrestling Bios from time to time when I see a good topic pop up.
He has a series called Reliving the War where he literally reviews both Raw and Nitro back to back every single week on Thursdays. It's a staple of my day pretty much. I go and watch it, and if I can't watch it for like a certain amount of weeks, I binge watch a bunch of episodes. As I was watching the episodes leading up to 1998, we're about to go into 1998 on Reliving the War. WWF and WCW were doing these outside events outside of their main shows that were bringing in eyeballs to the product. That is a must. That should be happening a lot more often as well in wrestling, because I think that could also bring eyeballs to the product. You know, greatest example that comes to mind is when WWF went public in '99 and The Rock came out, and the crowd in Times Square is going ballistic, and he's just standing there with Coach.
Yeah.
Stuff like that can go a long freaking way, you know.
Well, something else that they need to do is, and I know they do meet and greets with certain people prior to the events. You know, you'll go to a certain section in the concourse, whatever, and they have, you know, 2 or 3 different people doing meet and greets. WCW did that back in the day. I actually met David Flair and 2 of the Nitro girls at the Thunder that I went to in Long Beach, because they were doing something like that. But they need to find something that they can partner with, like how WWE has cricket, where they can have talent going out and spreading the word and doing meet and greets in their off time, not just at the arena day of to the people that bought the tickets, but maybe the week or 2 prior to going to that area, so that people that maybe haven't bought a ticket yet or that don't know that they're coming to town can come in and get the heads up, you know?
Right.
I remember my dad and I went to a Kmart in Long Beach. It was just opening. And we just happened to fall into the fact that Steen was going to be there.
Right.
So we legit waited for an hour and a half, 2 hours for Steiner to get there to meet Steen. Like, we literally fell into this. Had no idea. There was no publicity, nothing. But I know that the Lucha Brothers, Penta and Phoenix, have that store out here in Pasadena.
Right.
Now, obviously, the West Coast isn't a strong point for them yet, but if they do a la RVD's 5-Star Comics back in the day, and they bring an AEW talent out here every month to do meet and greets and autographs, or to their brand new Vegas location that they opened when they were there, whatever it was, a month or so ago. That's a great way to drum up, number 1, business for their store, and number 2, notoriety for the product.
Yeah, it's a win-win situation. You know, it really
and if
does.
They can get, sorry, I didn't mean to step on you. And if they can get enough people out here for those, then AEW and Tony Khan knows there's enough of a market for them to run more shows out here.
Exactly. And I think they need to do specialty shows, and I'm not just talking about names. I'm talking about like in outdoor arenas, kind of like the most innovative show looking thing that I've seen AEW produce to this day. The one on the Jericho Cruise.
Yeah,
that's a must again. Like
I'm saying,
you know, Jericho Cruise, or just in general, you know, stuff like that. You know, just outside ventures instead of just your typical arena that, you know, hosts like 8,000 to 10,000 people, or even 20, you know, 15,000 to 20,000. Do
AEW
like
cruising that. For a bruising.
Right. Well, I think they just called it. I think they just called it the. I think it was Bash at the Beach is what they did it for, and then they lost the rights to that for Cody Rhodes to get his full trademark back. But I digress.
Right.
So it's
I know what you mean.
Stuff like that I think could really help AEW.
Outside resourcing, basically.
Yeah. Basically, get a branding manager on top of everybody else you hired.
Yeah,
my
I'm
focus.
about to say, like, the talent does their own thing at the independent shows, at these Comic Cons. We've seen them like in like some interviews. We have these like spotlight showcasings, but you need to do it more structurally where you get the AEW name out there, not just necessarily the people that are under the brand.
And
Exactly.
I will say, as much as we crapped on the All Atlantic Championship, that's a good step in that direction in and of itself. But that's more national recognition as opposed to here in this country.
Exactly.
So, but that is a good starting point. Now go into the heartland of this country, and then you're good.
If they get Maranello for one of those shows in Canada,
Oh, please, just get Maranello. Period.
but I digress.
All right, so that was really good on that AEW topic. It looked like it was going to wrap up very quickly there, but James's point, spiraled us into another good 15, 20-minute diatribe about that. I'm happy with how that one turned out. Next topic that we're going to discuss, of course, it's been the big news for the last couple weeks, Vince McMahon's retirement. A few WWE superstars have reacted to Vince's retirement, and we're going to take a look at some of these quotes that the superstars have put out there and kind of give our 2 cents about this here. Bobby Lashley says, I have a tremendous amount of respect for Vince. He created something that is unheard of. I told him when I heard the news that it's amazing how many people he's taken care of. He put my kids through school. He put a roof over my head, and he did it for so many other people. There are thousands of people that can say that. He's a pioneer of the business. He created an empire. The reason why I'm standing here today is because of him. So, of course, I have all the respect for Vince, and I hope that things get worked out however they may. I hope that I can always be able to contact him and get some advice from him with things moving forward. That's a hell of a statement right there from the United States champion, Bobby Lashley. You figure he did leave WWE, arguably at what should have been the height of his run, to go over to Impact, elevated himself even further, came back to the company that established him. But I mean, he's absolutely right. So many people want to crap on Vince these days because it's the easy thing to do. It's like making a Nickelback joke. It's just so easy to crack on them that it's just something people roll with.
But people still listen to their music.
Yeah, I mean, if we're being 100%, none of us would be here doing open mic night if Vince McMahon hadn't created pro wrestling sports entertainment the way we know it. None of us would.
I can't argue that. 1992, I said, my mom introduced me to it.
You gentlemen above and below me may be more AEW than WWE, but even you've started to come back into the fold with Triple H's running of things, which we'll get into in a little bit. But y'all initially, there was no AEW when you became fans. So you either became fans of WCW or World Wrestling Entertainment. And either way, it's because of something Vince did back in the 80s. So it's not insane to sit here and say that any of us, producer man included, who's off camera, none of us would be here talking about this stuff if it wasn't for Vince.
Sure.
Fair.
And it's just something that people need to keep in the back of their head because, like I said, it's cool, it's easy, it's hip to take those digs at Vince these days.
If I can do a sub-tangent here, JJ, because you
Go
do
for
bring
it.
a valid point, because you can't deny what spiraled out of Vince McMahon's idea here in the first place in 2022. When you look at the world of professional wrestling, you look at the industry nowadays, it's like everybody wants to crap on, particularly, Dante, I hope you're listening to this, Impact Wrestling. It's almost like Impact Wrestling is the redheaded stepchild. Yet here it is, 20 years later, still probably in its highest prominence when it comes to its roster quality, its outlook, its reach, its connectivity to the industry. And you think about everybody you see in AEW, in Ring of Honor, in friggin' WWE that went through that company and made, pun intended, an impact. it's one of those things where people, I feel like, forget about, the events that occur prior in input individual's life or input company status here that led to where we are now. And in a world that's ruled by, let's be honest here, social media, it is super easy to do that when all you got to do is click it and believe that what you're typing is right. So I completely agree with you. I just think it's absolute nonsense. This whole idea of a sense of loyalty, bringing out this hypocrisy and this so-called internet wrestling community that further downplays the friggin' state of society on this plane of existence is downright stupid to me in all forms of wrestling. I understand what WWE is and what one man did to get it to where it is today, but I also can understand that other stuff that we see today as fans doesn't come out of thin air or overnight.
100%. The best analogy I can make is it's like comparing Coca-Cola with Pepsi-Cola with RC Cola. It's all cola. It all tastes very similar. It's just a matter of what little twist, what little bit of sweetness that you add to it to change it up just a smidge. Right.
Well, I'll just say this. Mellow Yellow is not Mountain Dew, and I will fight you on it.
Anyway, I agree.
We drink that out here in Tennessee.
Yeah, Mellow Yellow is something we don't get a whole lot of out here on the West Coast. But
I've seen it, and I love it.
I've seen it here. I've seen it there, but it's not something I can get walking into just about any place out here.
Go to a Wendy's; they might have it in the Coca-Cola machine. You're good there.
There you go. One of those major like fountains, the multiple things. I think I've seen that at like the theaters. They may have Mellow Yellow, but I digress.
Quite rightly. But anyway, that's my thoughts. Go ahead and continue.
Perfect. Jeff, go ahead and throw up the next quote for us.
Oh, wow.
Pete Dunne.
Pete Dunne.
To be honest, up till now, it all feels strangely normal. Even the day when we were at SmackDown and we got notified that Vince had retired. Obviously, there's that second of people looking around like, did you see that? Can you believe this has happened? But then after that, everyone's so focused on the job that's at hand that it kind of feels strangely normal but exciting at the same time. Which then also talked about Triple H taking over the creative process and says, I credit him for getting me to where I am. To be honest, I think people forget that. When that UK tournament happened, the participants hadn't really had much exposure. The UK tournament was really just taking a bunch of talent and trusting in us to go out there and have 3 or 4 matches in one weekend on the WWE network. They put full trust in us, and it springboarded us to where we are now, where I can provide for my family. I'm living out of Florida. It's a completely different lifestyle than I ever would have had without the likes of him, Regal, people like that. They just trusted in the talent. So to be able to work with Hunter again, it's going to be incredible. I'm excited for what the future holds. One thing everyone will say about Triple H is he is extremely approachable, and he's excited to put out the very best content we possibly can. And that's what NXT was always about. Going into it, we would be saying, if we were paired with WrestleMania, SummerSlam, Rumble, we wanted to make sure that this was the best show of the weekend. And he had that same vision, the same as us who were out there competing. So I'm sure he's going to transition over just fine from what we've already seen just off the back of shows last night and Saturday, being Raw and SummerSlam. I think there's already an excitement around it. Just watching those shows, they feel slightly different. And as a fan, Pete Dunne is excited to see what the future holds. And obviously, as a performer, it's the same.
Well, Pete Dunne said it all for me. What else is there to add, really?
I think
I noticed he did not utter a single thing about Vince, which is telling to me. But like you boys said, I think it's healthy to praise somebody for where the industry is today on one hand, and also on the other hand condemn them for recent actions, which we won't get into. I said that time and time again. I don't think I need to, beat a dead horse, really.
No, no,
No,
no.
no, absolutely not. I mean, I don't want to open this old bag of worms either, but I've said it 100 times. It's exactly where I come from on the point of Benoit.
Right.
You can condemn him for that weekend, but don't erase the legacy of all those matches that he had.
Exactly.
Because then you're,
You can
again, if for no other reason but the people that had the matches with him.
exactly. You
Chris
can
Jericho
condemn
included.
Vince. You can condemn Vince for his recent actions and even his non-recent actions, because we're sure this goes back a lot longer than a month or two. But don't
Mhm.
take away what he did for the business, both good and in a way bad.
Well, there's good,
You know,
there's evil, and there's good in everything. That's just life. Same thing applies to wrestling industry and the people that run it. The thing about Pete Dunne's statement here, though, is when he was brought into the company, it was through Triple H, and he basically kind of summed up what I look as the difference when it comes to the outlook of Triple H and Vince. When I think about communication, when I think about flexibility, when I think about approachability, for me, when I looked at the WWE before I went away and classified it as obsolete, for me, under Vince, it was about one man's vision, my way or the highway. With Triple
Mhm.
H, it's about what I believe the company can be through everyone else's vision. It's that
Mhm.
collaboration versus a
Yes.
dictatorship mentality that I feel is going to
Yes.
breathe a brighter air for all to see going forward in the WWE, worker or non-worker. And that's why I truly feel that Pete Dunne's statement holds more value to me as a fan than Bobby Lashley.
Yeah.
That's fair. It seems like Triple H has the mentality that I wish more managers out there in the real world have. You know, you take the best ideas from your team. Where do you think the company can go? Where do
Exactly.
you think the company needs to improve? How would you grow our product? And then weed through the garbage and the trolling and take the good ideas and start to implement it. That way, the workers feel like they have a hand in making the company better.
Yep.
There's
And that's
way
what it
too
should be.
many bosses out there that have that my way or the highway mentality. And even if it's just on the surface right now, the facade, I'm glad that Triple H is at least trying to implement some of that. It's a team effort that's going to make us strong.
He wants ideas from everybody.
And you know who else wants ideas from everybody in another company?
Tony Khan.
Tony Khan.
Ding.
That's a
I
big
think
thing.
I think that's where Triple H really started to take notice. You saw the feud or the war,
The
so to
feud. Yeah.
speak, between Dynamite and AEW and NXT, and the back and forth of the ratings, and NXT was getting their butts whooped. So AEW was definitely putting out something that people wanted to see. That's why NXT switched days.
Yeah.
So I'm sure Hunter took a look at that and they're like, okay, take a little bit of this, a little bit of that, throw it together in the pot, and let's put something forward. And,
Yeah.
we're going to get to Triple H a little bit more in a bit, but you can already kind of see over the course of the week what him running WWE has opened up doors for people.
Yes.
Mikey, what do you think about Pete Dunne's statements here? Don't fall asleep on us now.
No.
We still got two more quotes, so
I
you
know.
best be awake.
It was sincere. It was heartfelt. It was him being respectful. Bobby's was very respectful as well. Just saying thank you, Vince, is not enough. You have to let Vince know that all the accomplishments you've done in your WWE life was because of him. No, Jeff, I do not want a moonshine and a Red Bull right now. That'll make me go hyper, and that's not going to happen.
Wait,
Jeff, we want
wait,
Stat Boy, not Cornholio.
Yeah,
what the hell? Red Bull and moonshine? Red Bull is dangerous enough.
yeah, really. Remember, I'm a lightweight when it comes to hunch punch and Red Bull. Anyway,
Try Mountain Dew and moonshine. I saw somebody do that once.
come to Tennessee, you'll try
Pass.
it.
Pass.
Yeah, I mean, we all know that Vince hated it at Hall of Fame whenever they said his name. Thank you, Vince. Now's the time for this stuff to come out and say it from the heart, which everyone I believe is doing.
It's fair. Jeff, let's go ahead and throw up Becky's comment.
Number 3.
Becky Lynch goes on the record as saying, it's the dawning of a new era. For me, it's crazy and sad because everything I've ever known about WWE has always had Vince in charge. And we wouldn't have WWE the way it is if it wasn't for Vince. He's somebody who believed in me and allowed me to do everything that I've done. We have the opportunity to change some things that maybe weren't so great that we didn't love. I think everybody's very excited and optimistic because we know that the people in charge are some of the greatest minds in the business. Having Triple H at the helm of the ship is phenomenal. There has been a tendency in the past for creative to change last minute, or we don't know where we're going, and it's hard to bring everybody along on this journey if we're rambling. Well, that sounds like 1999 WCW, but I digress.
Or a typical Monday Night Raw that was previously produced when I heard that the last Monday Night Raw produced by Triple H was actually done a couple hours before the show was actually on the air. But
I
I
mean,
digress.
you figure just in general, you've got Triple H, Stephanie McMahon, and Paul Heyman.
Yep.
Not even to count in some of the other names within
That's probably
the
creatively
company.
driving the ship as well. Yeah.
Well, you're talking about
But-
the producers of SummerSlam. I mean, come on now.
Yeah, I mean, you've got Adam Pearce, you've got Petey Williams, you've got Daivari, you've got Abyss, you've got Jamie Noble, you've got Gregory Hurricane Helms, you've got Michael P.S. Hayes for some reason still there, but I digress. I mean, you've got so many great minds in the company helping to present ideas. We keep saying it, but there's nowhere for this ship to go but up.
Mm-hmm.
You figure that it's been kind of dormant in this sort of purgatory for years where most people were just watching out of loyalty to the product.
Don't get me started.
You've got people like producer guy Jeff, or even over on the main side, boss man Rift, who were basically just watching because they had to cover it on a weekly basis.
It was
their job.
Different.
It's still
Yeah.
their job.
Not
being a fan.
necessarily because they were intrigued to tune in and be like, oh my God, what are they going to give me this week? I have to cover this in case people want to ask me questions about it on Talk Wrestling or on the No DQ reviews. So
I gotta
Gotta-
get money.
got to tune in and take notes on this.
Yep.
It ceased to be passionate for people
Exactly.
for a long time, you guys included, myself included. That's why I took an almost 10-year hiatus and coming back, starting to watch a little bit periodically like I was when Stat Boy was still in town. We'd get together, we'd watch Rumble, Chamber Mania, and then maybe I wouldn't watch again until SummerSlam, and then I wouldn't watch anymore the rest of the year.
Yep.
It wasn't until this year that I kept back with it. There was something about it that had changed even over the last couple years of me doing it the way I had been. Something riveted me and kept me tuning in each week.
Well, JJ,
And
it's
each
like
week-
I said.
Go ahead, Noah.
It's like I said when I did the play-by-play commentary of you for the first and only ever so far in the Championship Network history NXT Experience show. Seeing your renewed passion in this product, it gave me a glimmer of hope because I did see potential in some of the talent.
Mm-hmm.
But then I keep hearing about the way it's going topsy-turvy and what's been going on and this, and I'm like, oh, it's more of the same. It's like a IKEA freaking set that I said on Wrestle Rundowns where it's like they lost the damn receipt and couldn't return the freaking product. That was incomplete, but I digress.
Wow,
I think a lot of
no
it.
Foster rant on IKEA. Oh, that's for sure.
I trust IKEA more than freaking NXT 2.0 at the time, James. But that was a different simple man.
Freaking Jeff. If you're going to keep digressing, let's plug the T-shirt out there.
Buy the shirt. Buy it. Do it. Why not? But
I
anyway.
think
wait,
a
hold
lot
on,
of the thing,
Jeff. Plug the other shirt. Buy the fucking shirt.
Damn it, there's number one. I don't
There's
think we had
number
actually
one. I'm
said one
surprised
the
it took
whole
this long.
time, James.
I'm
You
sorry.
had to go with
James,
botch
you
it.
Listen.
freaking idiot.
I
Hey,
thought
listen.
we were actually going to get through the show without a
Hey,
single
bro,
F-bomb.
safety swears. It's the gimmick now. I gotta go.
And I had to say the
And
catchphrase.
then, James, you had to go fuck it up.
There's
It's-
the second one.
Ding! But JJ, just to finish my point when you continue, when I look at Becky's statement, the last paragraphs would get me. We talk about communication. We talk about that interest. We talk about that engagement. We talk about that excitement. How about the more so comfort in actually knowing which way the bus is going to lead by the freaking destination? If we get more of that, then this might be literally not only keeps James here, but brings me back. Because, again, I watched the entire Monday Night Raw, top to bottom, this past week with my ATW crew on Zoom.
Yes, you did.
And it
And
was
you tweeted about it.
And it was absolutely wonderful.
Yep. I
I
watched
don't
it.
watch SmackDown because I don't have Fox, but I heard that SmackDown's getting a little better too. Now that they finally
Hey.
pushed Shayna Baszler into the title picture. That's a good start.
By the way, buy my shirt on Pro Wrestling Tees as he plugs it and promotes it.
All
To
the
add-
plugs.
Let's
All
plug
the plugs.
mine. Plug mine coming
All
up.
the plugs. Just have a friggin' conveyor belt of all the shirts in the slideshow while we're talking. Who needs to see us? Just
to add to Noah's point, I also saw Raw. I saw Raw a little bit later on. I was originally going to live stream it,
That's
and then
fair.
I basically just kind of threw my hands up in the air. I was like, you know what? I'm just going to take the break. I needed the break anyway during all the crap that happened to me. I never got to take the break, so that was my break. I just decided to say, I'm going to do whatever the heck I want to do. I'm going to take a break from wrestling for a week, and that's what I did. I watched Raw. I said it doesn't matter how much quantity you have as long as the quality matches it. It's proven right on Monday. I was proven right on Friday.
Yeah.
That's a big step. We're not even, and it's slow, it's subtle, but it's noticeable for me to notice it and enjoy
Exactly.
it and not be angry about it or jaded, which is a big thing for me. For a long time, I wasn't like that.
Yep.
So when that's happening, that's big. Now I don't know what he's going to do with NXT. I assume he's going to leave that the same, only because he's going to basically do the main roster like he did his old NXT at this point. I don't think he's going
I
to
think
run
NXT
NXT the same.
I think NXT may ride the rails that it's on until after Heatwave. I think we may start to see a shift and a restructuring with Heatwave and beyond, much like we did with SummerSlam and a beyond. You kind of got to ride these storylines that are already going in NXT through the next event, which even though it's a television event, a television special instead of a PLE, you got to ride it through that before you can really
I can respect
direct
that.
it.
Because Triple H even says he will only make a change if it makes sense. He won't just do it out of the blue. It's constructive booking.
Here's what I need to point out. You talk about NXT's having an event called Heatwave, and Paul Heyman's under the books of creative. Coincidence?
And the last time there was a Heatwave was 2000, and myself and Statboy were there at the Grand Olympic Auditorium.
Nice.
Stories, memories, love it. Thank you.
What I was going to say about NXT and, Noah, some of the stuff that you're hearing still making you kind of go, because it's not your NXT, damn it.
Damn it! Yeah, right.
I think a lot of it is just what you like and what you don't like. You figure so many of the guys that made your guys' NXT have either been released or moved up to the main roster. So you don't have, by being released, they got picked up by another company. So they don't have that talent. What they need is somebody with the creative mind, whether it's Hunter going back down
Right.
or Paulie or Shawn Michaels, whoever's going to be steering that ship, to kind of start to bring some new talent in there along the lines of the Champas, the Crosses, the Garganos,
Mhm.
the Butches, the Pete Dunnes,
But Pete Dunne.
The
that-
Walters.
yes, the
Walter.
Walters, those people that
Fabian
really
Eichner,
helped
please
make
bring him
that.
back. Please bring back Fabian Eichner, please. Put him back with Walter and Marcel Barthel, please.
Here's a change I want. Don't make it look like a blinding Skittles set.
But for all we know, Skittles is sponsoring it. You got to draw that money.
They're not.
It's a
They're
joke.
not. I wish that was the
Dave.
case, but they're not. Come on.
But again, I know I've beaten this horse, but because I didn't see the black and gold, I think I can appreciate what's being presented to me on 2.0 more than you guys can. Because you guys watched all those names I just named and more, Sami
Yeah.
Zayn,
Yep.
Kevin Owens,
In the beginning,
come through there.
I look at the consistency of the product too,
Neville.
and the variety. Again, I believe there is potential. I look at the names of Roxy. I look at Cora J. Look at Ivy Nile. I look at the impromptu soprano Tony D'Angelo. I look at Bronathan Breaker.
Carmelo.
Definitely Carmelo. Are you kidding me? I do
Jonathan
see.
Breaker? Is that his name now? What?
No, I just think that's a better name than Braun Breaker, but I digress. That being
Buy
said,
the shirt.
hi, Aaron. There's a get a digress count going. That being said, I just want
I've
to
lost
see.
count.
We've
we're at
already
6.
hit over 9,000, and I'm not even wearing a power scanner reader. Shout out to all the
We're at
DBZ
6.
fans down in the chat.
We're at 6.
Oh, thank you, James. At least somebody here's keeping count. But again,
It wasn't before.
I should be. I'm the stat
You're the
boy.
stat boy,
I
James,
should-
playing your role. But again, JJ, there's potential. I just need to see it booked consistently better.
Of course.
It's not so much about the players, it's about the presentation for me, because I usually have a standard of what I expect under the banner NXT. And the last few weeks, it's been literally, like I said, a bunch of IKEA pieces thrown all over the place without the damn receipt and without properly together. Don't get me started on that skateboard prop from that highlight. But
That was bad. I'm not even going for it.
Yeah.
As much as I love
I
Cora
dare
Jade,
somebody to say
that was
good.
bad.
I dare you. I dare you to be sober and tell me that was good. You
No.
hear me?
Terrible.
Anyway.
You
That's
should
the
know by
lasting
now.
memory, by the way. That's the lasting Vince memory. Don't at me. That's the
You
last
should
creative
know by
decision.
now that even if I am 100% behind somebody, I will call somebody out on their fucking bullshit. And that skateboard break was horrid.
I love how it was just like, no, it broke before I could hit it. It's
All
like
right.
the air. It's like she hit
Jeff,
the air.
it's good.
And then it went.
Good. It's good.
It's good.
Good.
That freaking Bruce Almighty. Good. Jim Carrey.
Yeah,
Liar. One of my
hey,
favorite
Pat
movies of all
McAfee
time.
ain't kicking anybody in the dick. Relax.
You know
Well, someone
what?
got kicked in the
was-
uprights tonight. Good
That
lord.
was some of the funniest shit I have seen on SmackDown. Cece was sitting over here literally watching SmackDown with me, damn near doubled over, hyperventilating from all of those dick kick replays. And then the
Yes.
drawing on the screen,
I
like
love
an
that.
NFL
That was
replay,
so
a la
good.
Bobby Heenan. And then even
Yes.
the little small circle right there on
Oh,
Baron's
God.
junk.
Yeah.
She was rolling.
Okay. I saw that highlight. Not gonna lie. That was entertainment, by gum. Oh my
That's
gosh.
sports entertainment, damn it.
But I digress. And,
Just go ahead and
7,
throw up the quote
7.
from Paulie.
I think we're 7, yeah.
all right. Last but not least.
I'm
what's
gonna
the
be
final
real, I
quote?
just
Oh
made-
my
I
lord.
Oh my
just-
god!
Yeah.
I
Just
can't
made
even
up a
read
number.
that.
Paulie wrote a book here, so I'm going to try to scan over
Should I
this.
read it? Should I read
It's
it?
too small.
Go for it, Noah. Go for it.
Oh, please do your Paul Heyman impression.
And I quote, "Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Paul." Hey, I'm not going to do that.
Aw.
Look, I need to have a voice for tomorrow. I got church. All right, you hear me?
Fair
But I will.
enough.
Okay, you know what? I'll read this quote. I got you.
Yeah, please do.
Ladies and gentlemen, for those uninformed, I am about to inform you. My name is Paul Heyman, and I think there is a locker room and an office with a fabulously wealthy people, thanks to the 22 hours of work that Vince McMahon put in for the past 40 years. I have absolutely nothing bad to say about Vince McMahon. What a hypocrite I would be if I were to say anything less extraordinarily complimentary things about the man, even though I did it in work shoot promos about, say, 21 years ago. But I digress.
Buy the shirt.
His work ethic, his willingness to put 22 hours a day, every day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year for 40 years is why we are all fabulously wealthy. He'll never get any of the credit for it or understanding that he truly deserves and has earned. Okay, there you go. I'm done. Somebody else read the rest of the quote. That thing's too long for me to
supported of
fucking
the new
comprehend.
regime. They understand the task at hand and the people that are involved right now at steering the ship. We're prepared to steer the ship by Vince McMahon. When I took the job as executive director of WWE Raw in June 2019, I asked Vince, what is the greatest service I can give this company in this role? I thought it would be something like oversee the best writing, give it the best storylines, work your ass off. Put the task at hand first. His answer was, get your successor ready in case you drop dead. The show goes on with or without you. He looked at me straight in the eyes and said, the show must go on with or without me. He meant it. I could tell you multiple stories that I won't because they happen in coincidence that back up the statement that I witnessed him say to other people at times when, well, this happened. What do we do, Vince? The answer is always, the show goes on. I don't care if it's me. The show goes on. He meant it. Everyone right now who is steering the ship was prepared to steer the ship from Vince himself, which makes me very comfortable in their vision and their hopes, dreams, desires, and their new vision, which should not be Vince's vision. It should be their vision because Vince's vision wasn't his father's vision. It was his vision. He created a universe in an image that, he believed him. Those who are now running the show will create the progression of that universe into the next generation of that universe based on the things they agreed with and the things they agreed with. Hopefully the things they agreed with, they will make better. Other things they understood was an absolute taught by Vince. They will carry on that tradition. It's going to be fascinating to watch. Anybody that sits there with the attitude, ding dong, the witch is dead, we're moved on, is a fool. We are moving forward in waters that were charted by Vincent Kenny McMahon. Part of the charter of those waters is what happens after Vincent Kenny McMahon, whether it was his vision or his understanding, that the implementation of his new visions would take place and the manner in which he wanted them implemented in a style he could be proud of. So I'm very curious, under this new regime, what the direction of WWE will be going forward, and I'm happy to be a part of that progression.
Oh,
There we go.
he popped in.
I did the first part because
I had to come in and applaud that. That was ungodly ridiculous. Carry on. I picked the wrong night to not do the show, by the way, because my Paul Heyman impersonation, it can be vouched for. Carry on.
Well,
Thank you, Jeff, for making that special guest appearance. That cameo only cost $14.99 through the website. You can get yours too from Jeff Meacham if you so desire.
buy a t-shirt, damn it, but I digress.
Ding!
For a t-shirt, $23.99 for double-sided.
Yeah, exactly. There you go. Buy the t-shirt. Buy the t-shirt. There you go.
Oh, gosh.
But I digress.
Ding!
Another fantastic quote. And, James made a ha-ha there about the work shoot promos, but he's absolutely right. Like,
Just
how
make me money.
hypocritical would Heyman come off if he were to go on record and run Vince down when you figure his old man basically allowed him as a 14-year-old kid to get his break in the business.
Great
The
story.
McMahon family has been nothing but good to Paul Heyman.
Can't argue that.
Without young Paul Heyman hustling, hence the Heyman hustle, his way backstage at Madison Square Garden, there would have been no Paulie Dangerously. There would have been no Dangerous Alliance. There would have been no EC fucking W.
Mm-hmm.
Fact. Also, ding.
There's so much regarding Heyman that would not exist had it not been for what McMahon Sr. gave Heyman. So, I enjoy reading that comment, and all of these people make fantastic points.
They do.
It goes back to what we said at the top of this segment. You can condemn the man for his actions over the past months or even years, but to try to discredit where he took this sport, this form of entertainment that we and all of our viewers and our fans love so much, is hypocritical.
Yeah.
There would be no Hulk Hogan. There would be no Undertaker. There would be no Stone Cold Steve Austin. There would be no Rock. There would be no John Cena. There would be no head of the table, no tribal chief Roman
There would
Reigns,
be no Triple H.
without Vince McMahon. Period.
I always say the correct term is the style he popularized as opposed to what he created. I guess they mean the same thing. I only say that because I feel like that's an insult to the poor Greeks who kind of, invented this sport in a way.
I mean, if you want to go back to
Watch
the history
your
of wrestling,
language, James.
Careful, James. Stat Boy is Greek.
No, I'm not against you. I'm defending your culture, bro. What's
Okay.
wrong? Let's just defend it. It's fine.
he's going back beyond the WWF or whatever it was called even before that, because again, we were not around before Vince and Kenny McMahon was a thing. So this goes even beyond us as fans, James, but we can understand because, well, obviously the internet has taught us the history of course, Vince and Kenny McMahon, his desire to be a wrestler didn't work out. He became a booker, the booker. He then took the company from his father, and here we are. Oh, jeez.
If you guys want to check out the offending the Greeks,
have
I'm
it,
not
Jeff.
offending the Greeks. I'm defending the Greeks. What do you mean? They created the sport, man.
As I was saying.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh my gosh, we've
By
gone.
the
We
way,
still have two more topics, guys.
Have we
by
gone?
the way,
Have we
by
gone?
the way,
Have
Stat
we
Boy,
gone? Have we gone? Have we gone JJ's quote yet? I'm not sure at this point.
Hey, Stat Boy,
We're
now
getting
that-
there, Noah. We're getting
now that
there.
I
And
know
it's
the
not
facts
my
about your-
quote.
How long?
now-
How high are we on that meter? Never mind.
Hold on. Now that I know about the origins of your background, I gotta send you a promo I did for Mike Nikos, who has a great character in a wrestling show. So that's good to
Ooh, I
know.
would love to see that.
Yeah, for sure. I'll send it to you right now
Cool.
while we're
Thank you, thank
getting
you.
to the main event.
Cool.
Before we move on, is there anything else anyone would like to say about this topic and the Vince McMahon thing?
You
I
had,
think we've said enough.
yeah, about to say you had four. Let's look at this. 4 generations of
Yep.
workers under this company give their stance about the creative direction then, now, and what's to come. I think everybody had fair points, and through all of them, there was nothing really negative or regretful or bias. It's just optimism, better communication, more input, but also an appreciation.
And unlike some people, there's no apologies necessary. Had to get that in there. There you go.
Damn it, James! Damn it, James! You freaking idiot!
I know, right?
But we digress. Next
We do
topic.
digress.
Um,
Yeah.
Next topic. Triple H recently was on Logan Paul's Impulsive show.
Oh,
And he says that having a character and telling a story is more important than being a great wrestler in order to appeal to a wider fan base. Triple H goes on to say, it's not the moves. It's like watching a movie. How many movies have you seen with crazy budgets and special effects and CGI that visually you go, holy shit, that's amazing, and no one cares? The movie bombs because there's no story. So no one
Transformers.
really cares. It's not about the moves. It's about what you do between them, the characters and the story. I can make a way longer list of terrible athletes that were incredibly over in the business than I can of crazy athletes that were the be all end all. People who are fanatics about what we do go like, oh my God, that match was so good. These guys are so good. And everybody else is like, meh.
Not wrong. Wrestling is not one dimensional. You need that level of athleticism, but you also need that sort of showcasing in storytelling. John Moxley said in his book, wrestling is everything. It is competitive. It is theatrical. It is suspenseful. It is engaging. It is cooperative. It is role management because the ref, the two wrestlers, the environment, the commentators, they all play in order to bring you this showcase. Now, whether or not the quality meets your expectations or make you want more, that's your own suspension of disbelief. But again, wrestling cannot be one dimensional. Just can't.
No, not at
I,
all.
I
I mean,
respect this statement. I respect that.
like you said, and it's part of what I always loved about it is there's this athleticism and this performance and the sport
Yes.
that goes into it, you know, the actual competition, but then there's the entertainment value, the characters, the storytelling, the backstage segments, the promos, hence sports entertainment.
Right.
You know, unfortunately,
Yes.
the days
Yes,
of
Josh,
two
yes.
guys going in there and having a 60-minute time limit draw with telling a story in the ring like Claudio and Takeshita did tonight, we're so far removed from that because of the core demo fan base that somebody wants to watch that. You know, they try to present that in the ring, people are going to crap all over it. Unfortunately, because we're so far removed from that era.
Right.
You've got to have a good combination. That type of thing works on the indie circuit because it's much more intimate. The people that go to indie shows are tried and true professional wrestling fans as opposed to sports entertainment. You know, me and
Cindy.
Jeff, and I think Statboy was there too, went to Jason Takes PWG at the old Armory or the Jewish Community Center, excuse me. And Christopher Daniels and AJ Styles wrestled to a time limit draw.
Yep.
AJ was PWG champion. Daniels was TNA X Division champion, and it was title for title.
Yep.
So they wrestled to a 60-minute draw. That way, no belt changed hands.
Right.
Nobody looked weak.
Right.
It also was right around the time they were building to their Iron Man match in TNA. So I'm sure getting the feel of going 60 minutes and being able to carry a match and tell a story throughout the thing was something they were trying to do as well. But you try to put that in television these days, crickets.
Depends on how you tell the story, though, beforehand. That's another thing I think we're missing here is, you know,
right.
Triple H talks about it's not just about the moves, it's about the story you tell to get to the matches anyway.
Yeah.
I think there's can be a healthy balance. You just got to do it in a slow burn kind of way to get to that moment, you know.
And yep.
That's
and
just how it
structure
is.
It in an environment that works with the background you're building. Black and Gold NXT proved that on several fronts.
You know,
and
here's
that's
another
the reason why I tuned into that more than anything else in the WWE at the time I was trying to get back into this company.
Here's another thing for you too. You know, here's another era of WWE. You know, the Attitude Era. Perfect balance, right? You know, especially in 2000. 2000 is probably the greatest time period for a wrestling fan ever because, you know, they had literally everything you were looking for in a pro wrestling product.
Yep.
In a sports entertainment product. They had the theatrics. They had the wrestling ability. They had, you know, one of my favorite pay-per-views to this day, which I think is highly underrated, is Fully Loaded. And that was the advertise of 3 main events in one, where they build Kurt Angle, Chris Benoit, and Chris Jericho all on the same night against 3 of the WWF's top dogs: The Undertaker, Triple H, and The Rock. That's one of the best pay-per-views, top to bottom card wise. It really is that good. And then you look at the Rumble of 2001 and The Way Out of 2001, the 3 Stages of Hell and stuff like that. And it's not to say that they hit everything out of the park all the time. They got a few strikeouts here and there, but
Of course.
most of the time they were firing on all cylinders because everything was being built. And that is what I think needs to be done more, especially in WWE. Everything needs to have a purpose of existing. Not for nothing, I know there has been great matches of Raw under the later stages of Vince McMahon's time running the ship. But guess why I didn't watch? Because nothing made sense, right? When I was watching NXT, I saw everything that led up to that moment. I saw everything to do with Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano. I saw everything to do with the tag team scene being built up there. I saw the women's evolution start there and the slow progression of that. It's all about the slow burn, how you get there, and what the final result is at the end of it.
Long-term storytelling.
Yes.
Simple as that.
Mm-hmm.
Mikey, what are your 2 cents on this?
This is a long time coming continuation when Triple H said, from the time you walk through the curtain to the time you walk back through the curtain, you tell a story.
Yep.
Season 1, tough enough. My curiosity, though, is I want to know who's on these lists that he's talking about. I would love a couple examples, if possible, of what he said in his quote, if that could be a quick thing. Who's he talking about?
Well, he didn't list off names, but knowing Triple H and people he's trash talked in the past, you got to figure, when he talks about terrible athletes who are incredibly over in the business, does the name Bill Goldberg ring a bell?
Yeah. Where he absolutely crapped on him on Tough Enough. Here's another one for you. Ultimate Warrior, who made him job out.
Yeah. Everybody speaks so highly about Jim Hellwig ever since his passing and right before, but they did make a DVD called The Self-Destruction of the Ultimate Warrior, and Hunter was a huge part of the burial of that.
Yeah.
Another name that I can think of, and I know the guy hasn't had the best health lately. He's going to be the topic of a biography. Lex Luger.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wasn't the greatest athlete in the world. Didn't even want to be in professional wrestling. Just did it to make a paycheck. But he got over big time.
Yeah.
To where WCW put the strap on him how many times?
Many times. Even when Bischoff didn't even want him in the company for a while.
Yeah.
Even though it was a good opportunity for him. Like, it was
still
a
a
Sting
draw.
recommendation.
Yeah, he was still a draw.
Here's another name that's going to be controversial, including to the guy running production. Hulk Hogan.
Oh, Lord.
Think about how over he was, but how many people go on record in interviews saying the dude couldn't tell the difference between a wristwatch and a wrist lock?
I would agree with that statement, but then you forget about his match with the Great Buddha. It's just kind of how it is. He can wrestle. He just didn't want to.
And that's from the producer.
Damn.
In Little League Baseball.
No, it's story.
I think it was like one of those things where it's like, you talk about Hogan. Hogan was built to be a 5 moves of doom guy. That's what he was. He, in the WWF especially, but, watch his matches in Japan, and he can work. He can put on those working boots if he really wants to, and could do a damn good job. He just knew he didn't have to.
I mean, James,
He just knew he didn't have to.
if we want to
most
go
of
a
the time.
little bit closer to the time that you and I kind of like had our fallout, I feel like one of the biggest things that definitely was the definition of a guy that people believe couldn't wrestle, but he was the draw, John Cena, and his 5 moves to doom. And he
Yeah.
was really the company's
Mhm.
forefront man for over a decade.
But he could wrestle if given the freaking chance. They just never allowed him to.
Well,
You know,
Yeah.
Daniel
You know who
Bryan
else I-
pulled that out of him in one match.
Here's one person that I thought never could freaking wrestle a dime worth in the ring, and then I saw his match with Rey Mysterio in 2012. JJ, freaking Mike Mizanin. Thought he sucked.
Mhm.
Turns out he's a lot better than I gave him credit for.
He
You know,
really is.
it's stuff like that. I'm ready
Mhm.
for stuff like that to happen,
Yep.
especially now.
The king of
Can't wait
soft,
for that.
the king of soft style has somehow stood the testament of time and has only gotten better.
He'll probably
And then the
still-
flip side of
probably
that
is
coin,
better.
you think of somebody like Dean Malenko,
Mhm.
Yeah.
you know, who never got the credit he deserved.
Still doesn't.
You know, had him playing a freaking James Bond wannabe while he was light heavyweight champion when he got called up to the E.
Personally, I thought he showed a lot there, and they just didn't give him the opportunity. I still thought it was entertaining.
They were giving him a chance to show character, but it wasn't Malenko's style.
No.
Malenko was always that badass that just kind of got in
Right.
the ring and whooped your ass.
Right.
You know, go back, watch that 2 out of 3 falls match on their last night in ECW with him and Eddie. And
Here's
then you compare that to the James Bond wannabe shit, and it's just like,
Bah.
okay.
Yeah. And well, here's another one for you. You talk about people that were kind of not utilized to their full potential. I mean, there is no reason, even regardless of how everybody feels about this man or not, no reason why Taz should have been buried the way he was
No.
at all.
No.
No.
When
way.
they had that match, ECW champion versus WWF
he
champion,
looked
him
like
versus
the
Hunter.
biggest dweeb in the whole room.
Hunter
did.
buried him big time. They could have done that match, set like a 30-minute or a 15-minute time limit on it, gone to a time limit draw. And that was during a time period where it would have still gone over because it was the early 2000s.
I'll do you one better. They could have had the
And-
same match. The issue was they didn't even let him utter a single catchphrase of his.
No.
No.
Not one. It was ridiculous.
Yeah.
It was ridiculous how they just treated him there. And it's the worst thing that you could have done because Taz could have been up there with those caliber of guys that we just mentioned. A Malenko,
Absolutely.
a Guerrero, a Benoit, you know?
Absolutely.
Yep.
I mean,
We
it's
don't have
like,
to worry
hey-
about that now.
hey Vince, our guy took the ECW title, you know, he jumped to WCW, he's still champion. Can we borrow your guy to beat the piss out of him?
Yep.
Hello, an original Forbidden Door, a WWF contracted
Right!
competitor versus a WCW contracted competitor for the ECW Heavyweight Championship in an ECW ring.
Boom.
Then Taz brings the belt to SmackDown and gets buried. Yeah, sure, we'll help you out. And your champion sucks now.
Psych.
Exactly. Which, you know, it's stuff like that. Now, keep in mind, while it probably was also a Triple H call, you got to remember this was the damn culture because everything was you got to be a shark in order to survive. We don't
Accurate,
have to worry about that anymore.
But
And
that
yet the
just
internet
goes
wants
to
keep
show.
trying to sell it like that.
But that just goes to show how long it's been since Vince had his fingers on the pulse of what was really relevant. Because you had an opportunity to take that Forbidden Door match that happened in ECW, then have your ECW World Heavyweight Champion versus the WWF Champion in a WWF ring, and you just bury him.
Yeah.
You know, since we're so off in the weeds anyway, I'll do you one better. How in the hell, when you had been working with ECW to help win that lawsuit, and you just purchased the rights of WCW, how do you not start the invasion with Cyrus the Virus and TNN? That should have been the starting point of the whole invasion.
Would have been good.
It was right there.
Yeah.
And another thing that James drove us away, missed
Dude,
opportunity.
the amount of
Yeah.
missed opportunity, and it wasn't just me that saw it either. There was plenty
No.
of people.
Oh, you kidding me? It was a friggin' flux.
It was ridiculous. Like everybody's like, well, here's another missed opportunity here. Here's another missed opportunity there. Oh, there goes another one. Almost had it. You got to be quicker than that. Every single day.
Go for the fish and Ligon just freaking just let
You know?
it go off the line.
You know, the CM Punk thing was like the final straw for a lot of people. For me, it was like shortly after that. I was done after everything I heard. Because how do you miss the opportunity with him or in general? You know,
Exactly.
we could go on and on for days.
I mean, the thing, by the way, this doesn't just apply to men. This applies to women, too. Shout out to my friend Megan Chiba. She will always rant about Eva Marie.
Yeah, probably.
Oh, let's not get started on her.
Miss,
Jesus.
I don't know how to kick out, even though it's a basic fundamental wrestling trope.
How the hell you don't know how to hold a damn headlock? Anyway. Sorry.
Right?
Let's move on.
All right, that brings us to our main event of the evening. Adam Pearce on Friday night made the announcement, a women's tag team championship tournament.
Yay!
What?
Does the tournament signal a reconciliation? Are the former champions' shadow too large if not? Beginning Monday night on Raw, and I'm assuming it's going to culminate at Clash at the Castle, a tournament for the Women's Tag Team Championship. And
I'll be damned.
I'm going to go on record right here, and then we'll go to Mikey first out of this one. But I'm seeing this, and I'm reading the rumor mills, and I'm hearing stuff that the boss man's posting and talking about on No DQ. I'm having a 2011 CM Punk moment here. I think we're going to have the tournament. Tag champions will be crowned at Clash at the Castle. And then here comes Sasha and Naomi. Oh, you're the champs? That's cute. We never lost these.
Go with it.
Start program to see who the real champions are.
You know what's funny? You actually got your team to fight them in Io Shirai and Dakota Kai. Or I'm sorry, Io Sky now. And Dakota Kai. To go after them. There's your match right there. I'm for it.
Are you trying to derail the women's evolution, Josh? For Pete's sake.
For real. Like, we've got Noah watching Raw, and you want to give him the Bellas? For real?
Well, you know what?
I can actually get behind Lay Cool a little bit because the Grinch's heart has softened on Michelle McCool since her retirement.
Fair.
I used to not be able to stand her. Loved Layla, hated Michelle. Them as a unit were good, and it produced the greatest video I ever saw on YouTube that wasn't entitled Santa Claus is a Dick. And it was the rise and breakup of Lay Cool set to Sarah McLachlan's When She Loved Me from Toy Story 2.
I remember that video.
That video
right.
was
fucking
the
good.
greatest
That's brilliant.
video ever.
It was so funny. That was good.
It was so good that when me and Jeff did the top 50 entrance themes back in 2012 and Lay Cool was brought up, we inserted that video into it when we were talking about it.
Caitlin,
It was
Caitlin, with
so...
all due respect, I know you're a fan of what's her freaking name, Nikki Bella. The only way your Bellas come back as tag champions is if WrestleMania goes Hollywood and they're booked for that, and they
I'm gonna
actually
tell you
compete
what.
legitimately for it.
I'm going to tell you what. Here's where I want the Bellas to come back. Bellas versus Rowdy Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler. Opening round match. Rousey and Baszler squash them.
Okay, I'll take that. Yes, because Baszler is
Yeah.
doing it. Baszler should
Yeah,
do
yeah,
it.
yeah.
That I
yeah.
respect. That I support.
And
Here's
then the Bellas just go back to having
Here-
babies and being moms and stuff.
I will say,
Uh-oh.
James, hold up. Producer man just came on camera. He obviously has something he wants to say. Mr. Meacham, the floor is yours.
No, why I got shot by birthday WrestleMania like that, fo? Why I
You don't
gotta?
want to see the Bellas get destroyed at WrestleMania?
I don't want to see the Bellas do anything with that stupid little twirl of theirs and then go back away. I don't want them in the ring.
Oh, fair enough.
No,
Okay.
no. That's a. You know what? I'm taking off my glasses for that.
The SmackDown before WrestleMania. I thought you wanted Bellas beat down. Why not?
you got him so mad that he's breathing heavy, man. What do you?
That's right. That's right.
I
But-
might be
but
okay with the
Lay
Bellas
Cool-
This
beat
is a
down
really
the
good
grandest
microphone.
stage of them all. I didn't.
Lay
all right.
Cool, Lay Cool, the Divas of Doom. You really want to throw a team in here to spark controversy and oh shit, they could possibly win this?
No. I did not say they could possibly win this. Get
No,
that
no,
fire
no, no,
your freaking head right now.
no.
If the Bellas are going to win the titles,
Noah,
you can guarantee that I will be leaving.
Noah, time out. Time out.
That's not what he's
I'm
talking
talking
about.
I'm talking about throwing another name into this, not the Bellas.
He really doesn't like the belt.
It's okay, neither do I. But here's a name that you could throw in there that could seriously make people be like, "Oh shit." How about the team of Trish Stratus and Lita?
Yes.
That should
True.
be the team that wins that WrestleMania if we do it.
If they don't, if AEW doesn't bid on them first,
At least
oh,
make it
get
to the
her.
finals.
All right. So, at the request of the chat, I will put this comment up and I will respond to the comment.
Uh-oh, here we go. What are you doing, Josh?
All right. The Bellas are the entire reason we have a women's revolution. Wrong. Did you not watch their WWE biography? I did. They are trailblazers who deserve their Hall of Fame spot in a tag team title run. Okay.
Jeff,
Gosh.
I'm going to let you take this one because I've already granted enough for one night.
Yeah, you know what? You're the producer man anyway. Give yourself a solo shot here. Address
No,
Josh
No,
one
no,
to
no,
one.
no, that's good. With respect to our friend Caitlin and his and her husband, who are going to probably watch later, and knowing if I crack on them, I will never be able to have them anywhere near my house ever again, especially her. The Bellas are a huge part of the reason why there was a revolution. I think the entire reason. Fuck no. Okay. Not even close. They definitely deserve their place in history. I will even grant that they deserve a Hall of Fame induction because of their impact on the industry.
I'll agree.
The main thing I have against them coming back at this stage of the game is very simple. Because yes, Josh, I did watch their biography. Nikki's neck, no. Both of them are mamas. Both of them enjoy that. They came back at the Rumble this year. Good for them. Cool, they had their moment. But Nikki even said, night of Rumble. Yeah, I'm good. One and done. Thanks. Okay, bye. So it's not that I have a problem with their spot in history. It's the same reason I have a problem with, Hogan talking about coming back. I have the same reason I have a problem with Vince and his match. Why I even had a little bitty problem in the back of my crazy ginger brain with Flair. Yes, the moment was wonderful, and he got exactly what he needed out of it. You know what? The Bellas had that moment already. You know what? Hogan had that moment already, despite what he'll have you believe. They don't need that. I never got what I wanted out of my retirement, like Flair had. I don't need them back. I don't even need them winning the damn tournament and dropping it to Sasha and Naomi. That is completely counterproductive because they're not going to come back full time.
Yeah.
If you have them win the tournament and then drop to Sasha and Naomi, all that is put Sasha and Naomi in the category of, oh, they beat the retirees. Good for them. Now, you have them beat Toxic Attraction at the end of the tournament. You have them beat, even if Beth, who is in ungodly good shape right now, if her and Natalya are in the tournament, you have to beat them. Okay, cool. You have them beat Shayna and Ronda, as you mentioned previously, as a haha, but we'll go with it. This tag team tournament, if this is what we're gonna get, where's my damn graphic? Here it is. Okay. If this is the case and we are gonna get Boss and Glow back, cool. That's wonderful. But we need them to be in a tournament with legitimate, not full-time, because there's not that many quality women on the roster at this point,
There isn't.
but at least legitimate teams that if they do the CM Punk moment like Punk and John did, it's not a, I don't care about this reaction. That is the last thing you want, especially at the end of a tournament, especially on a pay-per-view that's been, if you believe the hype, 30 years in the making.
Here's another thing
Fair
we
point.
also have to bring up as well. We don't even know if Sasha is even wanted back at this stage because there's still apparently, heat there. We don't know if Triple H is going to bring her back yet. Like, we assume that it might happen. We assume that now that Triple H is at the helm of creative anyway, that he'll make a play to bring them back. But we're just going off of complete speculation at this point.
That's all it is, literally.
Yeah,
I say it all the time. Seeing is believing. And how many legitimate women's
believing
tag
is
teams?
seen.
How many women's tag teams do they actually have?
Not many.
How many are they actually going to just throw together?
Now,
they
I'm
actually
confident after what he pulled the last week. Karrion Kross and Scarlett came back.
Well, James,
You know.
I also mentioned you off air, and I even said this to JJ Sunday night. Cross and Scarlett had a skip in their step that I didn't notice when they left. I knew there was more to it than just they were going to have a great match with Harry Smith. That match was super short, and they were way too excited about it. I knew there was something more to it, and not to call myself Nostradamus or anything, but there they were last night.
Right.
So I'm glad they're back, and yes, Triple H being at the helm will definitely signal change. However, it doesn't matter who's in charge. The bottom line that we all seem to be glossing over in this euphoria of Hunter being in charge of creative and having his team rally around him is that Sasha has walked out more than once because of creative differences. It doesn't mean it was because of just Vince, because as far as I remember, the first time she walked out when her and Bayley lost the titles at WrestleMania, Triple H was like at Vince's side at the creative meeting table. So just because Cross and Scarlett came back, just because we have a lot of cool stuff happening on Mondays and Fridays right now. And yes, Josh, I did see at the convention that she's got the Sasha hair back. Okay, I can go in the hall bathroom right now if my sister wouldn't kill me and dye my hair. That's my hair purple. Doesn't mean I'm going to walk out and be a freaking purple people eater on TV Monday night. I could if I really wanted to, but I'm not going to. Despite the background, which I thought was awesome for JJ's hosting open mic, by the way, just purple synergy. Love that shit. Anyway, put myself over. Don't mind me.
Not good.
I want so bad for Mercedes and Trinity to come back. I want so bad for Sasha and Naomi to come back. But I want it to be for the right reasons, and I want it to be stick. I want it to actually be a thing. The fact is, we've got Bayley back.
Can't just say that.
And we've got Sky and Dakota as a potential team, because it looked to me like Bayley is back, but it seems like she still might be rehabbing or at least not wanting to get back into it, waist deep yet in the ring physically. Thank you, Noah.
You're welcome.
So let's let Bayley lead Sky and Kai to the finals against a babyface team. And then have the Sasha Naomi moment. And then you have Sasha on one side and Bayley on the other, which is how this whole shit started 4 years ago. Again,
what would that be, Jeff? What would that be?
You tell me.
Long-term storytelling.
Simple as that. Again, though, it comes down to how they structure this tournament and the teams involved in it.
Yeah, and us two on the upper tier, and I think all of us at this point can say, I'd like to see brackets.
Yeah.
I don't want a WCW Tag Team 1999 tournament because then I'll be going for a month and a half.
I'm sure they'll probably present something to us on Monday. But yeah, I mean, can't even really think of that many teams, even with NXT involvement, unless you bring something out of the woodwork. You can't do Ronda and Shayna right
No.
away because Ronda's suspended. Shayna's number one contender for the
Yay.
SmackDown title. So that's not going to happen for the tournament.
No.
You know, Beth and Natty, the last time they were seen together, were feuding. So are
I
they going to
forgot
put
they were
them right
feuding.
back together and just automatically, you know, forget about what you saw last?
That you can't make a change like that.
Here's
You know,
my.
You've got Toxic Attraction. You've got Sky and Kai. You
Well, I
still
mean,
need
they
6
also.
other teams at least.
Well, I was gonna say, I mean, maybe Raquel. Are they still gonna put Raquel in this at all? Like, what's
Raquel
going on
and
with
who?
Raquel?
Yeah,
Huh?
Raquel and who?
Raquel and who her partners with Sky now. So
Yeah, that's true.
here's here's what worries me. They announced this tournament out of nowhere, seemingly, and as you mentioned, JJ, a lot of the majority of the women's tag teams are wrestling on Tuesday nights right now. Why would they have a fatal 4-way tag team championship vacancy filled and pardon the graphic nature of this phrase, but blow their wad on showing off their tag teams if they're gonna have a tournament announced 3 nights later? This was very last minute book. This is very much, oh shit, we gotta do something because people are freaking out.
Mm-hmm.
And again, NXT UK, they represented a bracket already of the 8 men involved in the NXT UK Championship tournament to crown new NXT UK champion, Ila Dragunov, Gitwasun, Umasibar. So again, just hearing this announcement just now from you, I'm like, what? No bracket, no real sense. Doing it just because. So
And
if the story
and I-
here is just trying to suspension of disbelief that 2 particular people could be coming back to WWE, whether it's for the right reasons or not, or long term is another thing, I'm not for it.
And I've said for a moment that the only reason to not put the tag straps back on Toxic Attraction with the Fatal 4-Way is if they were going to be getting called up. Mandy Rose is going to face Zoe Stark on Heatwave. Get the belt off of her to Zoe. All 3 of them are coming up.
True.
I could see that.
What about you?
And what
Sapper?
better way to make a splash than to have these girls come out of nowhere RKO style and take the main roster tag titles?
True.
And before we throw it to Mikey, we've been bitching for how long about Bianca needing fresh competition for the women's championship. Mandy's right there.
Yeah, right. Mandy's more than ready. Been more than ready even before she went down to NXT.
Even with the not my NXT showcasing, I cannot deny the growth in development, both in ring and character wise and confidence wise, that Mandy Rose has shown. She's ready to challenge for the Raw Women's Championship.
Stat Boy?
The first part of the question saying, is this a reconciliation? If we're talking WWE as a whole, right now, yes.
Mm-hmm.
But the person that really needs to come forward and say, hey, I'm sorry this happened, is no longer in the picture. So that's, there's that. Okay. And I have
Although the girls can go to the No DQ Pro Wrestling Tees and buy an apology there, so
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
And
how about no?
I couldn't resist, James. That's too funny.
And I will agree with what you said earlier. I that's the way I would have written the story. You can throw 8 teams together. You can't go 16 because that'll take too long.
Yeah, no.
It will,
I don't even think they have enough women on the roster to create 16 teams.
They don't.
Exactly. They don't.
Not right now.
And like you said, it doesn't matter who wins the tournament. At the end of it, if they decide to come back, because there is an offer on the table of some kind, if the news stories are true that I've read about that, they're going to come out. They're going to say, hey, we never lost the belts. You're not the champs. We are. And then I have a feeling that that they're going to just go into their own little pipe bomb. And if this happens on SmackDown and Cole and McAfee are sitting there, one of them, probably Sasha's going to be the one to call out Cole. Because Cole was the one all those weeks ago that said, oh, they disrespected the business and they walked out and they did this. You know, Mercedes is going to come out and look at Cole and say, what? Here I am. Say it to my face.
Slap the taste out of his mouth.
And Cole's not going to say anything. McAfee's going to be there in total shock. He's not going to know what to do. The crowd is going to love it. Triple H is going to say, yes, I did this. Welcome back, ladies. They'll do their thing, and then we'll move on from there.
Yeah, you almost have to have the finals of the tournament be either the Raw or the SmackDown prior to the Clash so that they can have the big blow-off match at the Clash, champion versus champion.
That's hilarious.
Well said, producer. Say it to my face. And he won't say it. He can't. He'll either be too scared to do it or too smart to do it. Either way, he will not say anything.
So much has changed with Michael Cole in the last 10 years.
No kidding.
That I could see Michael Cole actually getting into Sasha's face and being like, yeah, I said it. What?
Wow.
That's
you've got
JJ.
You've got to think about the way the fans are reacting to Cole now, though. Like they're supporting him like crazy. Like they were popping for him
at SummerSlam.
Yeah, exactly.
What?
So for Sasha to come out there and basically have this heelish, my shit don't stink, say it to my face. You know that Cole and McAfee are just going to be like, looking at each other, be like, yeah, we said it. You let the fans down. What? Get your asses in the ring. Prove me wrong.
Noah, you're talking about the GD spot that he slipped up on with the tractor at SummerSlam? Was that what you're talking about?
No, I'm during the Pat McAfee versus Happy Corbin match. Happy Corbin confronted him.
Corbin got like all up in Cole's face, and because Corbin is so over as a heel, people were chanting Michael Cole.
Yep.
I do think about, though, Michael Cole showing that side of his personality, though, JJ, to a callback back to when NXT was first introduced. There was one particular individual that Michael Cole was very outspoken about, and that was
the American Dragon,
Daniel Bryan. And we did see that confrontation several times. So he can't do it, but doing it against Sasha nowadays, Pat McAfee as the reactor in the situation, that could be very intriguing to me.
Mm-hmm.
We got to consider as well that Triple H brought these people back out of nowhere, seemingly. And specifically the big four being Dakota, Io, even though Io was still contracted, but she hadn't been heard of in months, right?
Right.
You know, those women she had one foot out the door prior, right? Then you had Karrion and Scarlett seemingly out of nowhere as well, and it came back on Friday.
As Nostradamus, Jeff Meacham prophesied.
I genuinely believe that he's going to bring teams or create teams by hiring women that were released in those initial cuts. I have a very strong feeling he's going to create a division seemingly out of nowhere in the next 2 to 3 weeks. So I don't think it's one of those things where normally I would be concerned because this is so last minute, but if the last week is anything to go by, we could have a tag team division as soon as 2 weeks from now.
Bold claim, considering that Triple H is, for all we know, he might literally have been working on this behind the scenes and hoping one day to bring it to fruition. Now he can. So again, I'm not going to count out your thought, James. You might be onto something.
I think the best way to pull that off is if they only did one match for this tournament each week or each show, like on Raw and SmackDown, only one match per show.
Yes.
Yep.
That way you give a little bit more time for the suspense of who else is going to be in.
Mm-hmm. Cruiserweight
You know.
Classic it, but like,
Right.
but also like, slowly reveal names, kind of similar to
Educate us
Yeah.
on who's
Yeah.
actually in this. Why are they a team? What brought them
Mhm.
together? It seems this isn't no mixed match tag team challenge that you set up out of the blue. That was just more so for, let's be honest, comedic purposes, which it was.
Mm-hmm.
You're trying to build something serious here. You're trying to bring a focus back to women's tag team wrestling. Damn it.
Damn it!
But I digress.
Buy the shirt.
Ding. I had to do it. So, again, I'm intrigued. But again, last time I checked, on the SmackDown side, you have, what, 7 free women? On Raw, you got maybe double. But how many can I actually recall being in a team scenario besides Piper Niven and Nikki Cross?
Yeah,
Right.
Nikki ASH.
Don't mention that slave name. That being said, I do see Io Sky and Dakota Kai definitely being motivated by
Mhm.
Bailey. Shades of Absolution, but Paige led with Sonya Deville and Mandy Rose, who are involved, of course, in the Tag Team Championship Elimination Chamber. Again, I cut them with highlights.
Dewdrop and Nikki is definitely a prospective team. I know how you are with the slave names. Jeff used to be the same way when it came to certain people's names.
Anyway,
So I get it. Some of them I don't recall their original names. You've got to keep in mind when I came into things.
fair enough.
So I only know them as Dewdrop
I'm
is Nikki
I'm not
ASH.
holding that against you. I'm just
I
reacting
know you're not,
as
bro.
the fan in me who watched NXT UK in its
Yes.
glory, and watched NXT when it was my NXT. But I digress.
When it was
11.
your world.
The daggone right, it was my world, and I want it back. But anyway,
Got to get some kind of favorable reference in for him. Jeff's been
how many
shitting
references
on him
we're
in
going
the
to get
chat
tonight
room all
before we're
day.
out here? All right, just saying. I mean, Alexa Bliss and now Asuka. He gone.
Shit. Well,
All right, fuck it, whatever. Anyway.
it's all going. It's all going.
I don't walk off.
We go to here, we die.
Okay, well, just
I
gonna
had
keep
to,
moving
Jeff.
forward. Way to live the gimmick. I mean, what
I
we
can
saw,
step out and take my leave, and you guys can finish the show because
I mean, I'm out of Mountain Dew,
We're
so I don't know
we're
how much
wrapping
longer I
up
can do.
anyways, Mike.
Yeah, this is pretty much the ending topic, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah, it
but
is.
bottom line, this feels like last minute booking on the surface.
Yeah.
But Triple H,
I definitely feel that on.
the surface.
Yeah.
But Triple H is not a guy to do that.
True.
We're gonna see what Monday brings and go from there.
Exactly. Josh, this may be my last broadcast from this channel, but damn it, I still got the review.
Enjoy.
Enjoy.
Real quick.
But anyways,
real quick before
James.
we end the program, can we get that little meme that I sent in the chat, because I think it's funny and I think it deserves a little bit of acknowledgement because it's great comedic timing.
That would be a Jeff thing.
And by the way, Jeff, last
because
comment,
he's controlling that. So
Jeff,
is man with a plan.
It's the at the cheap pop who created the meme. So if you could.
Oh, good lord, freaking memes. James, why?
Oh, did I? Are you serious? Did I send? That was meant to go to the group chat. Okay,
What?
it is in the group chat.
Oh,
I don't know.
Kenny Omega exists. Jim Cornette.
There you go.
That
Perfect.
actually is very accurate.
Yeah. Dude, that was so good.
That's the level of
way.
like angry Ms. Girl.
Bro,
Yep.
that was so good. That double team of the Undisputed Elite and the kid crying, that was nuts.
Daddy,
That
why
was
is this
crazy. That was crazy good. You all, everybody, go out of your way to check that out because that was really good. That was like
Yeah,
it was.
that was some
That
old
was
school
shades
stuff.
of Izzy reacting to Bailey getting obliterated by freaking Sasha, and Sasha going straight up in Izzy's face.
Agreed.
All right, so that handles things for the topics tonight. We're now going to go around the room and we're going to do the plugs. Mikey, don't worry about your plug because the graphic and all that is worked into my shill and everything that Jeff put together. So, James, go ahead and do your plugs.
So we got a couple things coming up. As far as I know, JJ and I will be on Owen Finch's channel, Wrestling Fortune 44, for a retro wrestling review series covering SummerSlam 2012. That will be
damn souls.
Yeah, that will be on the channel on Thursday. Probably premiering at around 3 p.m. Eastern. Don't know what that is in Pacific, but that's when it will be premiering. We will be recording that this weekend.
3 Eastern is noon Pacific. That's good. It doesn't conflict with or Thursday. I don't have a show going up. I was going to say it doesn't conflict with Renegade.
That's kind of what I figured. Yeah, that's it was an open field for us anyway, so that's why we're doing it. Definitely. We're gonna be reviewing that, which is funny because the whole idea was we've already reviewed 1992, 2002, and this is 2012, which JJ is gonna be with us for that. We also have Stable Wars, which is a Button Mashers exclusive on Casey's channel, which has been going swimmingly so far. Very, very fun. Where we've been using a Super Smash Brothers mod called Project MEX Remix, which is basically just Super Smash Brothers on crack. So go check that out if you're interested in that. That will be. We will be having another episode. This time it will be a tag team battle. It will be Kuzan and Nikos, Kuzan and Michael X versus myself and Nikos. So that will be on the docket on that channel. And you can check out my channel for future Jay Hebert side of things, where I will actually probably be doing the Jay Hebert side of things I've been wanting to do for ages, which is basically talking about the stuff that happened between Amber Heard and Will Smith, and also between Johnny Depp and I mixed the two up. Jada Pinkett and Will Smith.
Bot!
Amber Heard and that thing. Sorry, my brain.
No worries, dude. It's all good.
That's what's coming up as of right now. I just haven't been able to make the graphics for it. So there you go.
Perfect. Sounds like a lot of stuff. I look forward to convening with you tomorrow.
Lord, you're crazy.
And filming the SummerSlam 2012 review.
Indeed.
Yeah, I was there for that, so it's going to be cool to go back and discuss it in hindsight. I did rewatch it, and it almost put me back to sleep. So, it was a tough one. It's one of those things where it was cool in the minute because you're live and it's exciting and you got the crowd and everything, and Stat Boy was there with me, and then you go back and you rewatch it and it's just like,
It happens.
Quick plug for Josh Mansfield, the Cleveland combatant, as Noah nicknamed him. He writes columns on No DQ and lurks in the comments, botching other people's introductions, causing mischief and chaos. He has no t-shirts for you to go buy, but he thinks we all rock.
Thank you, Josh.
100%. Appreciate you, brother.
I'm going to go ahead and go next and take care of mine and Mikey's chills, as well as producers, man, and Noah. We'll let you close things out with your simple exit.
Okay.
We got a lot of stuff coming up this week on the Casa D18 Studios channel. Renegades reviews. We've got Maverick coming up tomorrow, 2 p.m. start time. Got Last Action Hero on Wednesday. We've got Purgatory on Friday. The return of Stat Boy Sports Bar, the season premiere, August 9th. It's going to be exclusive live on the Casa channel, and then on Thursdays, it'll get a replay on the Jeff Meacham Network. The Stat Boy is coming home to the Casa D18 Studios channel. It feels so good to be able to say that. Back when we started the Casa channel back in 2011 and really expounded on things, Stat Boy's Rants was one of the major fixtures on the channel. So to have him with the show, with Dory Lou, back on the channel, So cool to welcome him back. New release Saturdays, the Jordan Peele horror flick Nope, and then of course Sunday, The War Zone, the weekly acquisition report, the newest additions to my ever-growing media library. Of course, we've got the Jeff Meacham Network. We've got the top 10 Eagles songs on Monday. And this one's going to be a little bit different. In fact, both the dad's topics this month are going to be a little bit different. Normally, I'm the one that brings things home on the non wrestling topics. It's going to be topsy turvy. Jeff is going to be the one to bring things home for this one because the Eagles are his all time favorite band. So he's going to be digging into and giving you 10 songs that are a little bit more deep cuts. He's really going to have to think because he knows my knowledge of the Eagles is more or less limited to their greatest hits. So he knows that's the stuff I'm going to be bringing and hitting the crowd with. So he's got to put the old brain to work. But it's going to be so cool to have him speak about his favorite band passionately. Of course, you've got the flag. Oh, excuse me. We've got Ask the Dads every other Monday, the 15th and the 29th on the Casa channel. You got the flagship. Okay. You,
Boss?
Big
botch.
bods. That's a biggie bod.
God damn it, Jay.
I try to go in the order of the days of the week, and you hopping all around the month, but it's all good. Just throw it back up, and
This dude is about storytelling the way it's supposed to be story. He's not telling a story.
because I don't know your story.
Oh no!
Someone
you
did
don't know
not.
his story.
Someone did not.
Here's his
throw the
story.
picture back
Agenda
up.
Ginger Jeffy.
meeting.
Anyway, okay.
The other dad's topic we've got this month, SummerSlam title changes. This one is also going to be flip-flopped. Normally, Jeff is the one that brings things home, but because it is on my birthday, I'm going to be the one to bring things home. I have 16 title changes that I've got to whittle down to my 10
Oh,
before we
Lord.
go live. And considering that I had that huge gap in between when I stopped watching and when I got back into watching, I've actually got a title change from 2018 and 2021 in my perspective to whittle into the list, see if those make it. As the thing says, all Super Chats donations collected that day will go to me since it is my birthday, basically being looked at as a birthday gift from the fans. Anybody that Super Chats that day, I'll be getting the money from that one. Thank you, Jeff, for deciding to do that after I requested that. Now that covers the dad's episodes, every Tuesday night after NXT, the flagship of the Jeff Meacham Network, Talk Wrestling, still celebrating its 15th anniversary. I have a feeling it's going to be kind of like Disney where they celebrate for the whole year. But Jeff deserves it, man. He's been working his ass off for these 15 years on Talk Wrestling. Join in and see what it is that he's got to discuss this coming Tuesday. Wednesdays, as always, the Greg Cherry Show. You can find that over on the Greg Cherry brand, as well as on the Jeff Meacham Network. Dead air. What's next, Jeff? Throw up the next image. I'm forgetting.
I thought.
Oh, yes, thank you.
I
If
thought
Greg's
my
channel-
Wi-Fi went down.
If
for a
Greg's
second. I'm
channel
like,
hits $300 total in August donations, he has agreed to run a 10-match WTC title defense gauntlet.
Oh, Lord.
Yes, that should be very interesting. I'm sure Mr. Mansfield, who is a huge Greg Cherry mark, will try to help him get to that goal. And then the end of the month,
Hey.
NWA 74, August 27th and 28th. Preview predictions at 6:30 Eastern, 3:30 Pacific. Play-by-play and reactions, 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific. Of course, there will be open mic night. I'm assuming to follow the Saturday event as we usually do them on the Saturday nights.
I was saying NWA 74 is 2 nights, isn't it?
Yes,
Oh
it
boy.
appears to be that way.
Oh boy.
Get ready.
Make sure that there's nothing else that I needed to touch on. Oh, before Noah sends us out of here, special congratulations to Cassie Lee and Sean Spears, who are
Yay!
expecting their first child. The Jeff Meacham Network multiverse of media sends its congratulations to the couple.
Now that's
There's that right there.
inspirational.
I like what
Sweet.
you did there, Noah.
Ah, there you go. That's
I
what.
miss my tag champ.
Well, now I know why. Now I know why the inspirations had to call it quits for a bit. They just wanted to.
So there we go. That is what is coming up on the Jay Hebert side, on the Casa D18 Studios, on the Jeff Meacham Network, on the Greg Cherry brand. Noah, take us home.
Well, first off, Jeff, always happy to be here. Thanks for stopping by in the chat, brother. Look forward to collaborating with you again, either on review or predictions. Shayna Baszler's chosen for a title. Let's freaking go. But I digress. Have a good night. Folks, you want to know more about me? Know this.
Well.
I am just a simple man and a lifelong fan of, what's the word I'm looking for? Oh, yeah. Professional wrestling! Damn it! But I
Buy the
digress.
shirt.
Yes. Find me on Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube, and then Foster1916 for all fans of wrestling. Shout out, of course, to our ATW family on Twitter, James. Coming up this week, I will be doing another, as I'm simply calling them now, Siplin Predicting video. It'll be me and Jerry Emergence, I imagine, the simple and powerful duo. Bringing you pre predictions this Friday night, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, live on my simple YouTube channel for Impact Wrestling's Emergence. He already covered that's coming up later this month. We will be covering NWA 74 in full right here on the Jeff Meacham Network multiverse of channels. And there might be an open mic night too. Stay tuned for more AEW recap and reviews, courtesy of me and who I could get along to chat with me too on the Daily Slam for the upcoming Dynamite, but also just done AEW Rampage and Battle of the Belts too. And we'll see if my schedule allows me to take part in a no DQ review. But again, timing is everything, and my work life controls most of that too. But as always, let it conclude, there are no winners, no losers, no betters. There are just fans with their own opinions for this passion we all share. At the end of the day, folks, support one another and respect each other. And just enjoy life and enjoy professional wrestling. It's as simple as that.
There you go. Thank you very much to Noah Foster, James Hebert for doing an excellent job calling the action tonight. We greatly appreciate it. Stat Boy, thank you for popping in and joining me with reactions and joining us for open mic night.
As always.
Jeff Meacham, producer in the box. If you want to pop in real quick and thank the fans, thank you for allowing me to host this and basically take your seat, since I know where you are this weekend kind of prevents you from being too involved. Thank you to all the fans who tuned in and joined us today. And Stat Boy, go ahead and take us out.
Until next time, my friends, I love you all. Stat Boy out.